Awesome. Okay. Okay. Just that again. Reviewing of the agenda. I don't think there's, the only thing that's not happening is the resolution 25-7. It's actually last year's resolution. It's not happening this year. So you can get a one draw through it. Not happening. Anyway. Let's discuss and take action. The appointment of the chair and the vice chair.
We can't give you more duties.
No, let's forget. I won't even answer that.
So do we have to do this by motion?
I'll make a motion
Yes.
that we appoint Craig Dozark as our chair and Kyle Schultz as vice chair.
Second.
Oh, go ahead.
Ooh.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Hold on, that's me. We have a motion and a second
Second
on
by
the
Ty?
floor.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You are the chair.
She's running a show.
You're all right.
She's
I
just
got
the job. He's ready to just get in there and
You're
go.
all right.
He's been home practice.
He's been practicing.
Who seconded
I know
though?
maybe practice.
You did? Sorry. I'm writing and trying to listen and then I'm trying to boss Craig
And
around
be
at
the
the
chair
same
at the
time.
That is a big one.
Sorry.
Should have handed her the gavel.
I got the big one hidden, so y'all can't play with that. Anyway, so there's a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor voting aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Passes, carries, yes.
It's official.
It's all yours, sir.
Now it's your show.
Congratulations.
Good morning, Mr.
Sorry,
Chair.
that was a little fun.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Any conflicts of interest with the agenda?
Also,
Hearing none, we'll move on to the reading of the minutes.
on again,
I
Jerry.
have work to do.
Jerry Parkin's shit.
Oh, I don't need to have fun with this, so I'm gonna take it when it comes. December 23, 2025, the Board of Supervisors met at 9 a.m. with Dave Mulbauer, Chair presiding, members present were Schultz, Dozark, Mulbauer, Heiden, and Rosberg. Minutes of the previous meeting were read and approved. On motion, the board recognized claims for public health and approved claims for all other departments. The board approved the clerk of court fees for November 25. The board approved the retirement of Joni King's legal assistant, attorney's office. The board approved hiring of Valerie Ibsen, full-time home health hospice clinical manager, public health. Kaylee Olivia, full-time home health hospice nurse, public health, and Elizabeth Morales Garcia, legal assistant, attorney's office. The board approved change of wage and status for Jason Blunk, full-time maintenance employee for engineer's office. A motion was made by Schultz, seconded by Rosberg, to approve the following resolution. 2025-41, transferring funds in the amount of $1,511,000 transferred from the rural basic fund to the secondary road fund. Voting aye, Schultz, Dozark, Mulbauer, Heiden, and Rosberg. Motion passed unanimously. Paul Overton, assessor, had a discussion with the board about abatements and zoning. A motion was made by Rosberg, seconded by Heiden, to approve Verizon lease agreement of $1,400 per month. Motion passed unanimously. A motion was made by Schultz, seconded by Heiden, to approve the following resolution. 2025-40, the resolution for temporary moratorium of utility scale solar energy projects. Voting aye, Schultz, Dozark, Mulbauer, Heiden, and Rosberg. Motion passed unanimously. A motion was made by Dozark, seconded by Schultz, to reappoint Gene Heiden to the Board of Health for a 3-year term ending 12/31/28. Voting aye, Schultz, Dozark, Mulbauer, and Rosberg. Abstain, Heiden. Motion passed. A motion was made by Schultz, seconded by Dozark, to reappoint Dwayne Zink to the Law Enforcement Board of Operations ending 12/31/2026. Motion passed unanimously. A motion was made by Dozark, seconded by Heiden, to reappoint Mary Ike to the Conservation Board ending 12/31/2030. Motion passed unanimously. A motion was made by Dozark, seconded by Hayden to reappoint Dr. Dennis Crabb as medical examiner ending 12/31/2027. Motion passed unanimously. A motion was made by Schultz, seconded by Dozark to reappoint Ashley Green, Alex Alvarez Garcia, and Rachel Burns as medical examiner investigators ending 12/31/2027. Motion passed unanimously. At 10:57 a.m., a motion was made by Rosberg, seconded by Hayden to open the closed session pursuant to Iowa Code 21.5 subsection 1 subsection C, which allows for a closed session. Motion passed unanimously. At 11:44 a.m., a motion was made by Dozark, seconded by Hayden to close the closed session. Motion passed unanimously. On motion duly seconded, the board adjourned at 11:46 a.m. Agendas for the next meeting are posted and available at the courthouse on Friday, 4:30 p.m. preceding the next meeting.
Thanks, Terry.
You're
Any
welcome.
additions or corrections?
Sounds pretty good to me.
Minutes stand as presented. Move on to supervisor reports, and being chair, I will lead.
Can I just make one note on the agenda? I just noticed, do we want to keep Ben Shaven, our engineer, at 9:45, or do we want to notify him that means we're starting earlier?
Oh,
Don't have him here earlier today.
I'm fine
I
with
had just
whatever.
stopped down to do his cash count, and he was not even aware it was supposed to come. I must have had too much music, but
I mean,
But,
Didn't know we were meeting
I did
today.
tell him to come, so I think he'd be able to come
Just wanna
anytime.
text him or?
Yeah, I guess that we're
I think
really
that's a good
not,
idea.
we're not really that much further ahead than normal, so
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
Well, with last week being a holiday,
We'll see if we run out, we'll.
Yeah. he's in.
So, I wanted to make everyone on this board, I guess, aware of something with me personally. And that is that I am 100% deaf in my right ear. And so what that means is that, why I wanted to make you guys aware of that is you guys have stereo sound, comes in both sides of your head. Mine just comes in one side. And so I can only hear the loudest sound. And so if we have a group full of people here and we have people that are on Zoom that are all talking, I guess I would appreciate if I miss out on something or someone is speaking and someone else speaks over them, I can only hear one voice. And I also can't tell direction of sound. So if there's a lot of people, I have to find the person that's talking. So in large settings, I would just appreciate, I guess, if you guys make me aware, hey, that person asked the question and you never answered it or responded, Craig. Well, that's because I probably didn't hear it because somebody else was talking. So help me out in
Okay.
those situations where it doesn't bother. It's no big deal when we're one-on-one group with nobody in it. Only one person's talking.
Got it.
And just in our setting, people to my right, if Ty's talking and he's louder than you and you're saying something, I may not hear you. That's happened when I was, when I didn't mean to single you out, Ty, it could be Gene. But I mean, it's happened to me before, when I was president of the church congregation where we sit at a large table and this person over here is talking, the person right beside me is talking into my deaf ear, and I didn't even respond to her, and she was upset and said, I can't believe you didn't even say anything to my
Okay.
comment. And I'm like, I didn't hear your comment, I'm sorry.
We got it.
And she goes, how can you not hear? I'm sitting right beside you. Well, that's because
You're on the right side.
I'm
Yeah.
100% deaf.
I will say no.
Got it.
So,
So
good thing is.
just want to make everybody
you'll be
aware
able to
that
hear me all the
I
time.
can hear you all the time. Yes, Gene.
That's all that really
Which is
matters.
why if I sit like this, right, that will be one.
I'm not afraid to move over there.
All right, maybe we need to.
It's
put
not
you
a,
here.
it's not a,
So everybody's on your right
it's
side.
nice to sit in the front so that I can see
Yeah, For
everyone.
sure.
But just wanted to make everybody aware that I, on large settings, I may need some help.
Alright.
And I don't want to have people that want to have input not get it because I didn't hear them. So thank you. I'll just continue on, I guess, this week.
Would you have your head pointed west a lot when you lived in North Dakota? And that
No, I got it. I got a thing that was called sudden sensorineural hearing loss, where your hearing goes like that. They said it's kind of like having the shingles virus, and if it attacks your auditory nerve, you go deaf. It attacks your retina, you go blind. And I always had a ear wax issue, and Kathy then was my long-term care, Kathy Barrett's, and she always sent me over to ENT over in Carroll, Greenberg, or what? That's name? I don't remember. But he always went over there, and she sent me over there to get my ears cleaned out. And I asked him, I said, can I just come over here? I don't need to have Kathy refer me. He's like, no, just come on over. I'm okay. So I came back from a funeral in North Dakota of my aunt, and I woke up and I felt full. My ear felt full. And so I go over to Carol and I said, you got to clean. Yeah, because he had this suction thing where you can suck it all out. And I'm like, can you clean my ear out? He looks in there and he says, Craig, there's nothing in your ear. I'm like, crap, there is. It's buzzing and I can't hear. He said, there's nothing in there. I'm like, well, then what can it be? He said, well, could be multiple things. I've got to do an MRI on your brain because he said you could have a brain tumor that's pushing up against your auditory nerve and it's closing it off.
Not
And
make you
there's
worry.
small tumors, they said, that form on your auditory nerve that sometimes pinch it. And he said those I can take them off. And he said, but we need to find out what it is. And so did an MRI in my head. He came back and said, you have a very nice brain, but there's nothing else in there. So he said, that just tells me that there's this thing that's called sudden sensorineural hearing loss. And the only way to treat that is steroids within 48 hours, heavy doses of steroids. And it's been, weeks since it happened by the time we got the MRI, got the test done, got it back. And then I asked Kathy, I said, what's the option? She said, well, if it's one of the 5 senses, we recommend you get a second opinion. So she sent me to an ENT person in Omaha, and they came out. They said, yeah, there's nothing we can do. We looked at a cochlear implant in the back, and they actually have model ones that you just wear it around your head and it sticks up against this. You can test it out kind of before they
You know what, Carl's
implant
got
it.
that, doesn't he?
That's interesting.
Carl's got that. And
Yeah, before they implant it permanently, and we did mine and it didn't do anything. So when I went over, because they sent me to the audiologist over in Carroll, and he said, I think I did it when I was 50, and he said for a 50-year-old that very good hearing in your left ear, but he said in your right ear, I cranked it up to 90. He said, if I'd have done that in your good ear, you'd have screamed because of the pain that it would have caused. But he said, and you didn't even flinch. So he said, you got nothing. So I do have tinnitus, so I have constant ringing in my ear.
oh, well, you couldn't live without that.
Right, constant ringing. And of course, in large settings, since it's Dr. Wellendorf, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Wellendorf told me, he said, what happens is that your brain makes the sound. Makes that tinnitus. Your brain does that because it's used to having sound come in from one side and it's not coming in from the other side, so it creates it on its own. And he said they actually had a doctor that thought it was created by the ear, and he actually took everything out of his ear all the way to the brain, and he still had tinnitus. That was like back in the late 1800s because he was sure that it came from the ear, not from the brain. But so when I'm in if you go to a concert or something, I don't go to indoor concerts anymore because they're so loud and it creates so much discomfort in my other ear that I'm like, what's the point of being here?
Not even having a good time.
No.
Yeah.
So
I need to talk to my brain because it's got both my here.
so that's what I never heard of it before. There's like 4,000 to 5,000 cases documented every single year.
Okay.
And I told Wellendorf, I said, if it's so rare, why couldn't you be selling lottery tickets? It's
Exactly.
why can't I be in those odds?
I know, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
But
Too bad.
so
I never noticed that before.
right, it doesn't affect me in small group settings, I'm perfectly fine. I think 99% of my clients, since we just sit in my
Well, that's why
office
it looks like you
one-on-one,
and Kyle
don't
are always
know.
over there having secret meetings.
Yep, well, that's why when Kyle talks to me, I always turn my head like that. But Kyle did know about it through a mutual friend who told him.
Maybe dark.
But the supervisor reports, I did have the regular Wesco meeting on Monday. We had early childhood meeting on Tuesday of this week. So it has been a busy week, even with the holiday. Nothing really new or exciting, I guess, to report with either one, but that's what I had going on this week. Move on. Ty.
Changing her up here.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I had almost nothing to do, so I found a few things to do because I was bored. I'm extremely disappointed with the yellow smoke to the radio tower. Anybody else?
Yeah, you
It's
mentioned that
cracking.
the other day.
It's rough. We had to patch it. We got to figure out what we did wrong there because you check that road out and you go down there and look at that one at Dow City. Have you been on that one down there by Hastings? Please go down there and then come back up and drive this. And if you're not mad at this road, it's because you're a lot nicer guy than I am.
But remember, they had a problem right away.
Yeah, they did. They did. And
They did fix that. They did patch
They
that.
thought they fixed it.
well, I'm just saying, just if you go check out Hastings,
Okay.
Hastings has got his tractors on it all the time, every day.
Is there
There's
anything
tons of
different that
trucks.
you're aware of between the two? Is there anything done different? Were they different companies? Was it?
Yeah, there was some different stuff. I did some research.
Different companies.
Different companies, plus there was some different things that we should have done. I did some checking, talked to a couple engineers. So, but I just wanted to know anybody else. Well, Washington County's got their own crew that does this. You know, so Jack, I talked to Jack about a lot of stuff when it comes to roads and what have you. But testing our soil, or the road base, testing that, and what do they call that when they blade it? They got a little, when they quick bladed thing, they clean it off. I don't know, I can't remember the term. There's different things. I don't know if that was done. That's why I'm saying, that's a question in my mind. Was it done?
Should we bring it up with Vince here?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm very disappointed in that road. I don't know what we did or didn't do. And,
Would the invoice tell you anything or no?
oh, my.
I don't
I don't know. I don't know what
how
all they put
detailed
on
they
you know,
get.
because-
Look at the
Compare them.
Yeah, kind of compare what they did. Now, I would just like to know, that road was in the transition phase when we were going from Paul to Ben, when they did that damn thing. So all the things that Paul might have done, which I have no idea what he does, but he might have done or might have had done, Ben might not have knew to do yet, or didn't have that habit. Paul's been doing things for years, so that he's got habits of doing things that Ben's got to develop. So, I mean, I'm not faulting anybody here. I'm just wondering if there's some things that we did or didn't do that,
Thinking out of the box here that what a big difference between the two is that one immediately had heavy traffic on it, where this one has light traffic.
that's good.
I mean, that's a major difference between the two,
This one would have a lot more traffic.
but light duty traffic, where this one had heavy traffic, packing it, rolling it idle.
So should we have rolled it better before we started
Possibly, maybe.
putting down the tar? See, that's my point. I don't know.
I don't know
You're
either.
the best-
There's
You're the only
a
one
couple
in this
different
that's got secondary road experience of actually doing it.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking, what kind of similar project, but what were difference is,
Yeah.
there's one difference right there is that the nature of the projects. This one had car and truck traffic on it, and that one had semis and tractors
A lot of semi-traffic. I mean, do you even go down with your southern stuff there that way, or?
once in a while.
But,
Yeah,
so- that's my thing, is if we're thinking about doing some other projects like that,
Figured out.
we need to get on top of that before we spend more money and have another one that we're not happy with.
Is there any way to correct it now going forward
Well,
without ripping it all out, starting over?
putting an overlay on it.
That's what I mean, I don't know.
That was, you know, that was just, I asked that question. Wait, I keep, you know, I mean, if you can't blade it anymore, now you've got your seal coat down, so you'll just peel off the seal coat, which I don't know how much it costs to put one of them back on, but, you know, I mean, that's the thing is, but the, you know, you've got your, well, you hope you do. I mean, I don't know if what all the tests showed for our base, you know, I mean, did we test and what is the test? I mean, how's it set up? You know, even like when we do the asphalts and concretes, they do the little bores in the highway and down into the soils below to test all that and keep a record. Hopefully we're doing that, you know, so we can, because we've got different soils from one side of the county to the other, you know, so being able to. You see what I'm saying?
Soil types on
Soil
that,
type.
they're down to there.
Yeah, you're probably starting to blend into the Lowe's Hills and you're over here as you're still at the glacier till. I think, I would assume.
I think when they graded that, I think there was a lot of glacier clay in that.
Was there? So I don't know, you know, that's just it, is I don't know how to answer
What
that
made you
question.
decide to drive both?
Well, I was actually just out driving and sometimes I just go out and start wandering through the gravel roads, nothing really, no real reason to go, just checking out roads, ones that I know get used a lot.
Right.
But when I was down that way, you know, actually I was kind of heading down for Dow City and I didn't even end up stopping. I think I might have got fuel. I was heading for, just wanted to get something to eat down there, but anyway, so I drove down there and I ended up driving across that Easton's Road and I thought, you know, how come this son of a gun? I mean, I call it driving on Oklahoma roads. When you drive on Oklahoma roads, you're constantly like you're in a damn boat. It's like this all the time. You know, they're not, it's like, did anybody plane this before they paved it? You know? Anyway, that's what that one's like. It's like, so that's our Oklahoma Street in Iowa, you know? So we should call that Oklahoma Avenue. But can we rename that? I'll make that motion. But I don't know, and that's why, and then I thought, I haven't looked at that. You know, there's little cracks, but it looks like it's just in the seal coat here. And I thought I remembered seeing some cracks in that. So I went and looked. And yeah, I mean, that should almost look pristine yet, shouldn't it? We just did it this summer.
I'd be curious to see if Ben's noticed that same thing in.
I don't know, and I mean, that's basically why I went out the road. It kind of interrupted me. I was gonna actually head down Dave place. You know what, we're making him do all the work down there in the southeast corner. Down there driving.
Not stop.
So I didn't make it. Do not stop at Dave's. Well, I
What do you
kind of
say?
contemplated it.
I never put you to work.
Thinking about it.
Try.
Anyway, if we're gonna do a road like that out of the budget this summer, I wanna make sure we know what the hell we're doing. Cause I know what road we're looking at, the one that school buses are on every day.
Well, it's frustrating because you do it and you expect it to last and hold up and be something really good.
Well, that's the idea, but we were doing it, was if we're gonna have a more durable road at a lower maintenance cost. You know, and right now, it's not really looking like that's the case. I don't like to waste money. I sure don't wanna chase more good money at bad. We're gonna make sure we're doing it right. So what did we do wrong, or they do wrong, I should say, but it's our job, so. I mean,
Interesting to look at the invoice and see what they usually put a different things to or something.
I don't know, that could, there's all kinds of things that could be different, and I suspect, doesn't Casey keep an eye on that whenever we're building a road, you know, that's kind of his forte, Kyle, is inspector.
I think it's one of his major things.
One of his,
yeah.
so he might know
And
the answer to
I'm
those
sure he
questions.
put his best effort into it, so yeah, I'm sure he could tell you what differences between the two are. Could very well just be soil types.
I don't know. But it wasn't smooth even when it was first done.
Well, I had that big, whatever you wanna call it, was a big hole or.
So I mean, that's the thing.
That's kind of alarming that, you know, they would leave, that company would leave and say that this road is approved, given the
That it shouldn't have been.
the disfigurement of it.
That's, I mean, I just want to make sure we're spending our money wisely. These are things that should be improving our town. Especially making our high traffic roads more serviceable for the folks.
I know, yes.
Anything else, Ty? We'll bring that up when Ben gets up here.
Yeah.
I think we should bring it up to him, have him do some research.
Jennifer
And,
inquired about that one.
I mean, I don't like to bug Paul about it, but he might have a little better idea because he was on his way out then, you know.
I would think if he drove it, if it was bad, it would probably visit with them.
Maybe they have talked about it, you know, because
No,
I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. I have not asked anybody, I just was bringing it up.
Okay.
I don't think Ben had an agenda.
But otherwise, I haven't
You know what, I'm not sure.
had stuff about it. Had somebody talk to me about the newspaper. Thing that we're doing approving, but
I did too, probably the same person.
the only person that called me about newspapers, so I figured you did. But I just,
Twice this,
what's that?
twice this morning.
Oh, sorry. But anyway, I thought that was, I don't know, he brought up a few points that merit discussion, but, you know, as far as making sure she's covering things or really when we're doing it, just to put in our stuff, that's what we're approving this morning. It ain't how she runs her paper. I mean, that's what she's. Anyway, I don't think probably talking about some stuff too. So that's all I got.
Okay.
Survived Christmas and New Year's. And
Ready for another?
ready for 2026. Ready for the 250th year of our nation.
Gene?
Well, it was a kind of a quiet week. It seems like everybody with our committees just didn't have time to have a meeting, so some longer ones in January, but we did have a short IT meeting.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I know. So I
Thank you.
give you something to talk about. Thank you very much. So, went over a preliminary budget with Ryan, and he's got some ideas. And I think that we'll have to take a hard look at it. Up here, there it is. We can pass it around.
So the biggest thing on the IT budget, which is kind of, I mean, you want to say it's self-inflicted by the board, is that, I mean, it's increased by 25,000 over last year's approved budget. And the main thing is that we have a new IT director with a 25,000 salary. So that's probably the biggest difference.
And some projects that he's gonna actually try to get done. 26.
Yeah.
Isn't he supposed to be like, one of the things that was good about him though is he can do more things on his own that we'd have to hire people, so that should offset the budget a little maybe.
A little.
It should.
Some of his main projects are probably like the entryways.
Right, that's, I think, number one.
Is there any major upgrades within the offices that?
Well, they had, conservate, well, the budget's right there, we can take a look at it, so I have to do it off of memory, but,
We should include the regular
Yeah.
computer
yeah,
replacement
this,
program.
yep. Some changes coming down, and I didn't understand that letter that we had, that $2,500 that the state is gonna demand that we pay, and there's only one person in the county currently using it, so I think we're gonna have to look at that.
I
And
meant to send it out, ask the other auditors if they all
Yeah.
received it, and
I don't-
yeah, because I'm curious how ICN can be utilized by other departments. It wasn't it ICN?
Yeah.
I see, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're
Anyway,
gonna start charging $2,500 for that. It's a service that they've let us, and they even identified that there's only one current
Sandy's
That's the way
advocate.
upstairs.
Yeah,
Our
advocate that
advocate.
would be using it, so it seems like an expense. Or just, and that's a state employee, correct?
On
Right,
that similar
state-
note,
is she state?
I thought.
it's not surprising that the state is pushing that
Who is it?
burden onto us. They're doing the same thing with the state tower system.
Oh.
We are, and that's why we didn't want to do that, remember?
Yeah,
Because they said, yeah, we'll cover it for so long.
yeah.
And then at District 3, remember they talked about the state tower system, now they're wanting them to kick in more?
So that's coming down the pipe, and I just think that.
Speaking of that, ours is done. Up
I seen that news.
We're up and rolling
Good.
completely.
Ooh.
Everybody says it's working great. Everybody-
Listen to them all.
But it just doesn't make you want to sign up with agreements with the state,
It does not.
because you never know when they're gonna pull the rug out from under you.
Yeah. But I just thought that seemed like a steep ask.
Something like that too is critical to mission,
Yeah,
I know.
mission
I'll do a
success
little
in your
more
county
and try
for your
and,
emergency
Well, I
service.
think it's gonna, because the next thing you know, we're just gonna get an invoice, you know, and, there we go. And I think it seemed like, almost like a warning, letting us know that that's coming.
right.
Well, it was primarily for budgeting purposes, so that we know where to put that. It doesn't really seem fair to put it into Ryan's budget.
If we just
Personally,
send
it
them a
actually
bill.
makes perfect sense.
You think
Think
so?
they'll pay it?
Ryan's budget. It's
Does.
IT. I mean, it's,
That's where it needs to be.
It
yeah,
does, but it's,
Well,
because that's
if it's
why,
paid for by the county, that's where it should be.
right,
yeah,
because it keeps all those small little
yeah.
things that grow incidentally out of department.
But am I correct that she's a state employee, the person that it affects?
So then maybe it goes into the district court budget.
Well,
Well,
that's
that's what
that's
I
the
was
state.
asking.
Yeah.
Was
Right.
what's her budget? Where is her budget?
right,
Who
right.
creates her budget?
right. That's kind of where I think we're
Maybe
really
that's
gonna have to
she's
drill
done.
in.
Oh, you mean
No, ISAC's working on that.
district court?
I mean,
Because the county has a district court budget.
We do.
Yes,
But we don't pay her salary out.
not a salary, but it's some of the expenses,
So that's
some
kind
of
of
the
what-
filings, some of
Would that be appropriate to do that?
maybe. I don't
Well,
know.
what, if we can find out from other
I'll
counties,
find
I'm
out.
sure, do you think it's a prorated kind of amount, or is it even Polk County paying the same thing as Crawford
I
County?
think
Except for
so.
county.
I think it sounded like it was a flat rate per county.
99 counties seem to
And
be
she
that.
covers 11 counties.
Well, then why
So
would-
if every one of those counties has to pay that, so
I'll
that's
find out. I'll see what more I can
$27,500
Just opened up more questions.
that they're
than
increasing
anything.
property tax
Yeah,
that they're trying to cut.
oh, brother,
Funded back.
Mr. Doge,
Yeah, I just don't,
stayed out, just moved it on down to,
I know I'd seen a little Facebook deal, the governor was on, driving down the road talking about how they're gonna cut property taxes and everything, and I'm like, I Don Cass said, how? And that's all he put.
How are we supposed to pay for these services that our taxpayers have come to expect that aren't state mandates?
And they
To
keep
me, that's
pushing
what
more
really
stuff
starts to
onto
push
us.
our budget is the unofficial mandates.
it just is so
Or,
curious.
or official, but the
Official,
unfunded
but
mandates.
unfunded.
That
They
Yeah.
should call them unofficial,
Yeah.
because they aren't made by us.
Used to let us use it, now all of a sudden somebody has done some research and figured out that it's a way for the state to save some money, but they just moved it on down to the county, is the way I'm saying
Yeah.
that.
I mean, the way I understand, it, that's what the legislature wants to address that this year, is what they say.
We've got to
Some
go
of
into
those
this with a
unfunded
positive
mandates.
attitude
They
and
picked
talk.
some low hanging fruit, thought, well, let's just move this on down to the counties first thing on, that's an easy one, and right.
Because we are the low hanging
We
fruit,
are
Right.
the low hanging fruit.
Not
We don't
just
have
you.
anybody
not just me. We,
As a group.
as a whole,
What's
not
your
just
name?
this
French
table.
organization.
Not
here.
just this table, this whole 99 organizations.
Hey, leave me out of it.
Oh, you're part of it. You're part of it.
Whoa.
If it affects this table, it affects everybody.
No, I
I'm
know
fearful of
that.
the
Yeah.
Financially,
But
yeah.
I just
No,
thought
know.
that, just,
And it
we
affects
haven't even
every
started
taxpayer.
budget season and already we've gotten a letter that there's,
Property taxpayer.
Yeah.
Or sales taxpayer.
Yeah.
Sales
I'm
taxpayer.
surprised we got a heads up,
yeah,
first of all,
I'm
so
surprised you just
kudos,
didn't
I
get an
guess.
invoice.
Sort
Yeah.
of, kudos.
Just think you'd just gotten an
But
invoice.
don't you just wanna say, stay in your lane?
Preliminary.
Anyway.
And maybe I'm wrong, but I'm fearful that their long game is that
Oh,
if they cut the counties enough that we can't provide the services, they'll turn around and say, look, at you counties can't do it, so we're gonna privatize like they did with Iowa Primary Care. And a number of NCOs and things like that, come in and say, we're gonna put our own people in to provide that service. You can't do it. So it's not that we can't do it.
Right.
We just
they
Dave, I
don't
hope
allow
you're
us to
wrong.
fund it properly.
Hope you're wrong.
hope I'm wrong.
Hope you're wrong.
Yeah,
I
we'll
hear
have
the same
regions instead
Yeah,
of counties
you're-
and,
That's.
I know.
But then you
it'll be
take away
whole
the
bit-
decision making, we're the ones in the trenches
Right.
every day that
Right.
know the county best. All of a sudden you have somebody in an office in Des Moines making those decisions for you.
I appreciate one thing, and Happy New Year about this, that everybody on this board fights for a small, effective government. And I appreciate that. I just want to throw that out.
All right. Well, we
No,
did-
I think Terry hit the nail on the head. She just said, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Because that's, to me, if I was a state legislature, I would publicly say, it's not my problem. Property taxes are not an issue if you have a problem with property tax, show up at your local school board meeting, show up at your city council meeting, show up at your county board of supervisor meetings, and they're the ones that'll make those changes. They're the ones that have to make those changes.
Yeah.
And they're the
Because
ones who are
once it
elected to
gets-
make those decisions.
Once it gets dictated from the state down to those local boards, that's not the way it should happen. I mean, we as a community should decide what is important.
Decide what
Or
services.
should decide if we think our taxes are too high, where does that come from?
You know, though,
Who's the taxing body that's
I
creating?
I will say
We
something
all know.
on the state's behalf here. They don't call us because they don't think talking to us does any good, but they only ever talk to the 5 of us. They don't, you just named, they gotta talk to all them other entities and show up at their meetings too.
Exactly.
You know, so everybody should have a meeting that's being recorded, just like ours is. So that people can go back and look at it when they have time, or whatever they wanna do that way. So there's an official visual record of it, audio and visual. But the state people, I mean, you're Steve Holt, and he's getting peppered. You know, Jason says he does. I'm just talking about our two, but the other ones that you talk to get the same thing from their districts. You know, they're getting peppered. Property taxes are too high. It's not just Iowa. Look at the national news. This is Trump's talking about no property tax. Mr. Trump, do you know what all we're responsible for at the county and at the school boards and at the cities? You can't be touting this stuff because you're making us the demon here. When we're trying to do our damnedest to provide the services that actually do help our people every day. It ain't just some big bill that gets passed up there that looks beautiful and pretty. This is stuff we do every day. I mean, that's the thing. There's the communication gap, the uninformed voters, the uneducated, because they aren't informed, they don't know where to go fight this. I mean, there's a big issue here, and it's not just the number. I mean, yeah, obviously the number in the end's the problem. But nobody knows where all that stuff gets paid, you know? And I just think about all the stuff that every one of us, before we got on this board, and after you've been on here for 2 or 3 years, you go, oh my God, I can't believe we do all this. You know, every one of us has said that.
Out loud.
I mean, does it ever stop? No, it don't. You know, I mean, none of us realize that. So you gotta assume, I mean, and we all took an active role in being part of it. So what about all those people that are so busy with their normal life, their everyday life, normal life, they're so busy with it that they don't have time to educate themselves on what's going on. So that's, I know Gene likes to poke at people, post on Facebook. That's why I do it though, is try to hopefully inspire some curiosity where they will investigate. You know, so they will understand what we're up against and even the people up at the state house. Sorry, I got on a right.
Oh, you're not.
Soapbox out of the way here, sorry.
Well, I just brought up
I
a
think-
very small.
We're passionate about it because we're being punished because the 30 counties took advantage of a system
That they allowed, the state
that they
allowed.
allowed. And now there's 69 other counties being punished of it in the state of Iowa. And it's an easy re-election campaign for all them people in Des Moines
Yeah,
to say, we're gonna take care of property taxes.
yeah.
And you know, I don't feel bad for those 30 counties that did it. It goes back to what you said. People that lived there decided to elect those people that did that.
Yeah.
And it's on them.
I don't
Where
think
it's
they even
at.
realized what was going on. The average voter,
Right.
they figured these guys are there every week. They're doing what they gotta do. We're getting all of our.
I would say our
everybody's-
voters are a little more educated than some of the ones when you get into the big cities where they're even less engaged in that.
And some of them, I get it, like in Dallas County, they couldn't keep up with the growth.
Yeah.
So they maxed out just because they had so
Dallas
much
County,
infrastructure.
the drones are passing.
Can't keep up with themselves.
I wish that was
get that.
I know, I wish we had a little of that.
I wish we
You
did. It
know,
would help
where
us
were you?
spread the gas. and the-
This is skosh.
It's frustrating, trust me. I do.
Yeah.
That is one of the meetings I seem to have weekly, working on that stuff. We're still going.
Well, in the legislation, they make changes, House File 718, let me bring that up, because we're still biting off that
It's the gift
sucker.
that keeps on
In
giving.
Megan and I were working on the valuation process to determine what taxable value is. And that school-only portion, those school-only districts, so abated property are now required to pay school tax for their voted PEPAL levies and geo bond stuff. So we had to create, anyway, in the valuation process, if we didn't follow and I can't even say follow steps because there weren't steps to follow. It was hit and miss, and thank God for our software company, Tyler. The support that we got from them was outstanding. I know Tyler gets a bad rap.
They just got one last week from.
Yeah, but they were top notch.
Fabulous.
Megan and I.
I love to hear that.
Vicki and Becky were both online with us, and they were walking us through and showing us where to go look for discrepancies, and we were able to find them. They were able to help us find them. So,
That's fantastic.
but the administration of House File 718, no clue. There was no discussion about that in the beginning. There was no talk. How is this administered at county to county? How do the departments, and it affects all of us. It affects the assessor's office. It affects the auditor's office. I'm sure it affects the recorder's office. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm confident that it affects the treasurer's office.
Absolutely.
There was no discussion to any of the elected affiliates about how, when, where, why. None of that. So it's been complicated,
Well,
the whole
You talked about
process.
that E3 about working better with the state, our
Taxpayers
state
gonna see
partners,
a
so they
change
understand what
in
we
how
need,
things
what
happen
we're dealing
too.
with.
Maybe
We
a
gotta
little,
do-
we don't have we don't even have a dozen parcels that are affected by it
You
currently.
know, what's his
But
name up
as
there
those abatements come
in the
on, they will
northeast,
be,
northwest
and-
corner?
Six, I was thinking
Little
about
bit.
the people that get it, it's
but
different.
it's
He's
part
gonna
of
be a
his
good
application
representative to
for
work
them
with.
to sign up for
Right.
abatements.
And obviously
So
Steve. will
they're
work
getting
with
a
us.
heads
No,
up
no, no,
about
that
it
younger
right
guy
away.
with dark
Thank
hair
goodness.
that I called
Yeah,
senator.
I just worry about
Oh.
those people that are used to the way it's always
I can't
been.
think of his name off the top
Sorry,
of
by
my head.
he, I mean Paul.
He sent me a
Yes.
Facebook request. So he's a good guy.
You knew, but
That's
did
when
know.
you can
they
work.
might not know.
The other one though that pushed back on the mailer that we said, he wasn't gonna move their budget at all. That's not.
You want more members.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's Tim, is it
But they're
Tim?
so confusing.
Well,
They're so hard to read.
Wills?
When we try to tell him from
He got
our
real snappy
standpoint, it
about
don't
it,
make
too.
sense. It's
I did that.
confusing. It
Yeah,
costs
I
us
know,
money.
I know.
He didn't.
That's probably why you got it marked out on me.
Truth hurt.
How rude.
Anything else, Shane?
I think that we
Thanks
got
for
that
stirring some
conversation.
conversation.
It was just a small little piece of.
I
meat.
see
I wonder
went
what-
to that.
I guess
That
it was the
was
reason why I forgot the IT.
I pondered it a little
Right.
bit, so,
But I think that, how that
Yield
thread
that.
turns into, what
Wow.
all five of us are
Yeah.
really, in this budget season,
It's gonna be a pain.
I'm not, I
Yeah,
mean, this
maybe
is gonna be my 12th one, and I'm dreading it.
you should.
I think we're gonna have so much, it's gonna be tough. A lot of stuff that I just,
Sharpen up your pencil.
On that note, I guess I'll let you guys all know that, 19th and 20th are gonna be our working days here at the courthouse. That Monday, all day, and then Tuesday after our
We
regular.
hope you can all
scheduled
join
meeting.
us.
January 19th. Are we open?
Oh, yeah,
might
but
be
you
a
wait.
hassle this year.
What day is it?
Martin Luther King Day.
Son of a biscuit.
Didn't think about that.
I guess we're gonna
You
have.
still
to
wanna
meet.
come in anyways?
No.
No.
Oh, we can. I mean, it's,
Well,
department heads might not want to.
Oh, it is, okay.
Can we do the full day on the 21st? Instead
We're
of the
gonna
19th?
be
2021.
20, I don't think it makes. a
We didn't
big
notice that
difference.
it was Martin
I
Luther King
didn't
Day. when
notice
we
that
looked
at
it.
all. Didn't think
Wonder
about
why our
the
calendar
holidays.
didn't say that on there.
I don't know.
Mine does.
I don't know where I even looked. Can't
It's okay.
remember.
Uh,
Did I
You
go on
do
my?
have a
Or
nice
Tuesday,
day.
Tuesday,
Tuesday,
after our
After our
meeting,
meeting.
and then all day Wednesday.
Take a little
Can we
break.
skip
Tuesday,
theirs?
Wednesday, good?
For ours?
Yeah, Tuesday,
I don't
Wednesday.
know,
Okay.
this is more
Let's
important.
do it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
All right.
Tuesday, Wednesday, work for you,
2021?
2021.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We'll change that then, Terry, did you?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Good thing we noticed that,
Good,
because
it
you
is.
don't even have a key to get in.
Scandalous.
We're working on that.
There's a reason.
The IT department's working.
There's a reason. Oh, sorry.
Well, we can get,
All right.
we can make, we got our own machine to make cards.
So the
Yeah.
budget work session.
All right.
We don't have to pay for that.
Kyle, anything?
No, the holidays, it was pretty blah, just always sweating this budget session out. You know, I mean, a few of us talked about raises and stuff, I just don't know how we're gonna give raises that are probably needed or due,
I know, I did some.
and, how we're gonna make this all happen, to be fair,
What is the 21st?
and with the unknown, what's gonna happen in
That's the
down
part,
in
that's
Des
the
Moines,
scariest part.
how it's gonna affect us, and how are we gonna, we won't even know that probably till truly, because that's gonna be such a thing. That's just it, we won't even know what dollars we have until, I think, till the session's over with in Des Moines.
That'll be one of the last things that get finished.
Because it's gonna be so heated and discussed down there, that'll be one of the last things that takes action down there.
If it does,
That's because it'll take the whole session to
Right.
get through it.
And so how are we gonna,
They're gonna argue that something.
how are we gonna be able to pass and solidify a budget? Because they'll come in at the last minute to decide how many dollars we're gonna be able to spend.
And we really, really need to give Jamie and Lucas and Andrea plenty to work with on this. I mean, no, whether it's your guys' association, I mean,
All the
please be engaged
associations
with
need to
them.
be
We are.
pounding
And
on it.
us, our association, and then obviously the whole association.
and Lucas has made the comment, trying to work hand in hand with legislators to come up with a solution so that they don't pass something after we certify, and then we have to go back, so that timing and it coordinates right, logistically, it all works out. Or if anything, maybe we fall under House File 718 this year, but would take effect till following budget year.
I don't think anybody at this table is against lower property taxes, but we just wanna know where we're supposed to, what we can, what don't you care if we don't do? I mean, just think about all the people that have been showing up in here asking for 20, 10, 15, $9,000. Do we cut all that? And where do them people go? Because they provide a valuable service to our people.
Yeah, return on it,
The
investment.
return on that investment is immense,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
always
Yeah,
is. That's,
Meals on
you know,
Wheels.
ROI is one of my,
Meals
yeah.
for Children and.
There we are dealing with the Meals on Wheels right now. I mean, look at the people that,
Elder bridges.
Yeah.
Geez, that is so money spent.
Yeah.
Better than West Central Community Action.
but what are we
When do
supposed to
get back
cut?
out of it?
I mean,
What do you,
do you cut secondary roads? Maybe we just start closing roads. No, we're not taking care of any dirt roads anymore.
The number one mission
I mean,
of the supervisors, keep their people safe, so we can't do that.
Well,
watch that on
to
Facebook.
protect and serve, to serve here. That's what our deal is, you know, and I mean,
follow Ida County on Facebook, they don't take care of it. Watch that blow on us.
I think we have to do it. I'm not saying that. I'm just
Yeah, I
saying,
know it.
where do we cut?
I'm just saying, yeah, where do we cut? Because what's gonna,
You put the list up there on the wall, just throw a damn dart at it. Sorry, you got picked by fate and destiny. I mean, we
I
can't
would
do
like to
that,
go
but I'm
back.
just saying.
I mean, I think
They're
the only
putting us
one
between a rock and a hard place. And then
2008.
stuffing another rock on top.
Well, House File 65. that's
when the ag rollbacks hit real bad, I
We
mean,
have an elderly community. That was
Yeah.
before.
Palmer was probably still the only supervisor that would probably remember that. They were faced with some serious cuts
400,000 or
then.
500,000, where are we gonna cut?
You know,
Just cut.
and I actually was talking with a couple of our state people. I says, you know where the shortcoming came? When none of you were concerned with rural Iowa. When you were letting our counties shrink and deteriorate and our companies pack up and do something just to sustain a building there. And we can't do any developing in that area, and all the things that you can or can't do, mostly can't do, that help keep generating income and growing your county. That, you have to do that. That's what's gonna keep her 3.8% tax rate. That's what's gonna keep lowering property taxes. You know, but you can't grow like Dallas County. All of a sudden it's there. I mean, God, look what it did to them, you know, I mean, trying to pay for all the new streets. And you can TIF, but now your TIF, the school gets its, and what's our school district, 51% of the property tax? So TIF, we're standing that with cities all on our own, you know? That's why I think that the schools, we should find a whole new revenue stream for school. I mean,
Now you open up a can of worms.
sorry, but I mean, it's one of the most important things is building the brains for tomorrow.
I know it,
Yeah,
I know it, getting them up on the right
And,
foot.
you know, when they, you know, like, well, I don't know if you've been watching any of the Mandami stuff on Fox or anybody else,
little bits of it.
where they're talking about all the social stuff. I mean, that's one social program that benefits you, the hell and God. I mean, that's probably the best social program we got, is educating our kids. But then we still gotta, watch how it's spent. I mean, you were on school board, you understand the complications you're facing there, but that's actually a drain on that property tax where the wealthier people that own property are paying the whole bill, or not the whole bill, but the majority of the bill.
They may not, and they certainly are probably not utilizing that service. They don't have kids in school.
Well, a lot of them,
That's
a lot of them don't even live there.
solid argument. I mean, I hear that a lot.
I hear that a
At
lot.
least in the county, I'm driving the roads. You can't say you don't drive the road.
Not everybody does. There are people that.
There are, granted, a few.
But that's, that was why where they're, like in New York, where they're saying we're gonna tax the rich. That's why I said, we're already doing that, in property tax. We're already doing that.
And to me, I mean, being a member of the Republican Party, to me, I get very disappointed in my own party at the state level, because the House is led by Republicans, the Senate is led by Republicans, the governor is Republican, and yet they all three will have different plans, and all three fight and argue, and they can't be on the same page when they all come from the same party. And that's, to me, that's the part that always makes me upset more than anything, is they all want to either take credit or not be part of any of the blame game.
Right.
It's one or the other. But they can't, you think they would come in united
would think they
and
would.
be, here's what we're gonna do together, and we're all on the same page, but they will not be on the same page at all.
It's unfortunate.
They will fight
It's unfortunate.
and take it all the way, like you said, to the very end. It'll be the last thing that gets accomplished.
Right.
This legislative session. Might even have to be called back, or it's told you need to stay. But at this point.
That costs us more too.
Okay. Nothing with holidays, nothing too crazy. I do have some upcoming Region 12 meetings. I did reach out to Chris, was gonna look into, some grants or things for Meals on Wheels. He asked if it was more operational or, capital improvements. I said it's probably operational.
I think it's
because
operational.
I think
things are a little trickier, but he was gonna dig into that. I do have Region 12 coming up next week. I have some ISAC IT meeting next week. Continue to go forward with that. New ERP for Tyler and
Oh,
Rita,
good.
which hopefully sooner or later, I know it doesn't
I know.
fit everybody's timeline, but
No,
you
I
gotta
know.
start somewhere.
You do.
I was on the radio last week, kind of thanks to Gene and Jerry prompted me, they kind of poked me to go do an end of the year
I
interview.
think you did a
with-
very good job. You got an 8 from Jerry. I never made an 8, but you got
So
one.
just covered
That's
things that we
pretty,
did throughout
that's
the
pretty
year.
good to get an A from him, isn't it?
Just got
15
one
minutes
thing.
went pretty fast.
Does go by fast when you're out there.
It does.
Seems like
It does,
eternity,
yeah.
but-
But you covered a lot of material and you did a very, very good job.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
Did you know what it was going in?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had a list of some things that, I gave to Mick to do that we could cover, secondary roads and new hires and just
Yep.
different things we've worked on throughout the year.
He's very good at
Looks
leading you
good.
through all that. And then he'd welcome you to come up anytime too and talk. what-
Doing that weekly thing that, that when Mick first got here, was when I was the chair, and then Gene did it pretty much every week.
I did.
It keeps everybody informed.
It
I
does.
mean, there's a lot of people who say, well, I like hearing that,
Yep.
So think about it.
I did not do that.
Or once a month even, just kind of.
They call me every week.
Yeah, call it, sometimes you do it on the phone.
But they would always
That's
stash you guys out in the lobby and you do an
We did a
interview
couple.
as they were, they're all the news in the city, remember when?
Cecil used to write an article for the newspaper
Yeah.
every week.
But he does a real good job of.
He's the one that kind of got the whole weekly thing started with his weekly article.
That could be.
Do what
But
works
it's
for
good
you.
to keep informed.
Yeah, you're trying to.
Transparency, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you can do
No,
whatever
that's
you
cool.
want.
That's
Do
important.
whatever you want.
Nick does a really does a good job of making sure that you don't sound stupid.
It's good to know that it's good for them to know that we're not just sitting here doing nothing.
And that's a challenge.
You know, that's what-
Anything else, Dave? I mean, I think that when you talk about the Meals on Wheels, I think it'd be nice to have Wesco in that conversation along with Elderbridge. I mean, I asked Clay at our meeting, I said, have you ever met with Elderbridge before ever? He's like, I know who they are. And so, with the new bake shop, I understand that they have $10, I think, they want to keep the meals at $10 or less. And Plato said that'd be really hard, but I'm like, if you guys would talk, maybe Region 12 could be involved in that also, and say, here's a list of ingredients that, we're not making
Yeah,
the pork tenderloin sandwich
Nope.
special with all the sides and all that, but here's some specific things that we want to make our meals out of. Can we get that done for less than $10? I think you could have Wesco, and Wesco has a delivery system. They have volunteers that currently do some deliveries and some taxis, if you want to say, that are clients that do the driving with Wesco. I mean,
I was
Wesco
down there eating
Wesco
today, and they were
owns
turning some
55
guy in
vehicles.
something. I thought it was Uber. I said, we got Uber in Denison?
But I'll
Right.
talk to Chris next.
Yeah. I think there needs to be some of those they're all, I don't want to say trying to accomplish the same things, but they all do certain things that if they work together, they might be able to get it done.
Right.
Um,
And I don't know, Chris might come back and say, hey, I don't have any grants that are available, something like that too. I don't know. Until he digs into it, finds out.
Right, but remember when we talked to Elderbridge, they had a pretty significant grant
They-
writer on their staff that was doing that. And maybe if you coordinate more agencies like that, you qualify for more grants.
and they're not looking for fancy food. They're not looking for.
No, that's what I
We
mean.
like
No.
free meats
The,
and.
they
the
have
big
a
shop,
really good
right, the big
cook
shop
down
makes fancy.
Right,
I
right.
want to say fancy, but
Well,
it's
they have a lot of.
it's not just a bologna
Yeah,
sandwich.
they like to make it
It's
spicy,
no.
but
Because a lot
goulash,
of
green
it's
beans
local.
and
Hey.
some peaches.
in the city.
What's our sheriff struggle with? What's his?
His
he's got
food,
Yeah,
IV, yeah.
I know, that would be nice if.
What if we can hook him up with a bake shop? Make meals.
Maybe it could be more
It could be
affordable,
more
at least the
affordable.
hot meal they do
Yes.
through the
Or it
bake
could be
shop.
balanced.
I don't know.
Well, he was gonna
That's a good idea.
start doing his own cooking.
It's a good idea, that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
that's right. They-
Well, I know
we're gonna
he's-
start doing their own
They're
cooking,
trying to
right?
do their own.
He's
Well,
got
the
his
center's moving to that up there. They bought an oven and refrigerator and a freezer and
Yep,
starting to do their own cooking.
I.
I don't know what
The jail,
But it
Up
was
in
in
the
his
Yes
budget
Center's
last
moved
time.
the Yes Center.
but I don't know how far Rogers.
Remember, it was in his
came, but
budget
It was in his
last
budget
year.
last year.
Yeah,
Like
so
I said, I don't know how far he's
I'll have
come.
to ask
he's probably, maybe it was some change.
But I mean, yeah. I mean, we all see the bills coming across.
We do.
Holy cow.
Make
It's
a-
expensive to have inmates.
Nothing you can't make.
Right,
it
that's
profit.
why those ankle bracelets are more tempting, and more tempting and more tempting.
I mean, it's obviously under his purview, but, when we see it, it's like,
Well,
start
sometimes you
talking
set-
budgets, it's like, how do we
Trim.
trim?
And keep it local. We went back some.
Anything else? That's it.
I don't have anything else to add at this
Ben,
time.
here's Ben.
Look at that.
Look at
Here,
Ben.
I was worried we
Once
was gonna be
again.
here.
We're trying to look for
Good timing.
something to
We
talk
just ran
about.
out of
till you
things
got
to
here.
Well, I just
Like,
want to
Ben,
give you an
where are
action,
you?
man. Well, happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Off to a good 2026, I'm sure. So.
You are.
I haven't seen you since last year.
Been that long? Yes, it has.
We need one more. Yep, right there.
Oh,
Oh, here,
We'll share.
I'll share, we'll share.
No.
Yeah.
We'll share. I like to write on mine, but I'll hold myself back this time. It's okay.
Well, like I said, I guess I didn't even realize we were meeting until I talked to yourself this morning. there.
It's a weird week.
It is, but it felt like a Monday getting up this morning, but to begin, we do have our HMA project, towards on the 21st here, gonna do that, I think I just, got that on, just as a reminder, and, I believe, I, reaching out to DOT, I got myself set up with a digital ID for signing the contract documents, that's something I need to work on, make sure that I got my ducks in a row for when that lets, and I'll be able to sign a contract when I get to a contractor, so. But that's neither here nor there, but that is rapidly approaching there.
So that letting
We
is
have
done on the DOT website, and that's where contractors just always go to that DOT website to see what local counties are?
Right, they post it, bid ads, and that the plans are made available to them there. And that's, they can view them and bid on them through that, and they'll take bids and on, and the letting date there, and we'll see what the lowest bids are then, right, so on that day, so.
Gotcha.
But yeah, again, we had an estimated around that 6.1 million project, to see where prices are with oil prices being where they're at. We may get a lot better numbers.
Hopefully they stay down until this bid's let.
Yeah.
Go down, keep going down until, after this bid's let, that'd be great.
Yeah. So, we'll see what we get.
Do you know, is there any other projects, like the state got any? Because I mean, more projects are, the higher, usually higher the bids are, so I mean, lesser projects, it means more.
Replacing a bridge?
List either.
State replacing a bridge next year?
Art.
Is the
I just
state
remember when
replacing
Highway
a
20 was
bridge
going on, I mean, we paid a lot
on
bigger bridges.
30?
more.
Are they replacing another bridge on 30?
Not next year.
Not next year.
But
I think
they're
I think anything's over here per se, Kyle. I think it's over on Ames area, or,
I think
between-
Highway 37 by Dunlap's getting a new bridge next year,
Is it?
but that shouldn't affect the HMA project.
Yeah, I
no,
don't
I
think that
think
would,
so.
that's all.
Other than might have affected traffic, if our road's closed, 37's closed.
Yeah, stopped my heart there for a second when you said close the bridge on 3. I thought you were talking about one of my.
Our gravel roads could get busy.
We're gonna have more heads up than that, I thought. So, but no, I guess another order, but yeah. So yeah, but like, we'll see what we get for numbers for our project. I think the city is maybe doing some work in town here too that they'll be able to benefit from a batch plant site being in the area. Not quite sure about what they've got on. So.
Should we like put something out, maybe to all our small towns when we know we got a batch plant in the area, just letting you know while you're in your budget session that we will have a batch plant over in the Charter Oak area. Is that where we're planning on it being?
Yeah, well, I guess it'll be up to the contractor. They may have a site that they have already. We're going to make the Charter Oak Yard purchasing available to them as a batch plant site, if should they want, or the Schleswig Yard. We specify those two sites as being can be made available to them. Whether or not they want to take advantage of that is entirely up to them with the contract. Already have a site set up or projects going somewhere else and have a site figured out. So not quite so.
All right. I was just thinking when you know, I mean, you're letting it in towards the middle of the end of the month.
Right.
You know, you can let people know, I mean, during budget sessions, if they got roads they want to fix up in their town.
Yeah, I guess if you didn't send out, like say, a newsletter to all the communities, I mean, we're not, but it's not a bad
We're not
idea.
handing out any fine, but it would help them with savings.
Right. And we certainly could still do that. It'd still be a good time for any community if they are looking at doing something. I know it's kind of.
Let's get a little bit talk about
That's
that
their
next week.
budget time, but it is a good opportunity to snag a contractor while they're in the area. It's always the best time, but they're always going to get the better price. So.
Yeah, there you go. Trucks are in the area. Machines are in the area. Asphalt's in the area.
Yep. And there's a number of little areas that we'd like to maybe have them, whoever the contractor be, maybe try and get some little spots done ourselves, some intersections there, which is kind of bad. And we'll have to see, kind of where the budget lies. So, it's all the positions. I don't know if I mentioned last time, but we do have all the positions filled now that we had for full-time employment there. Jason Polk did start on the 26th. So for the first time since early part of November, I believe, we finally have everybody in the seats where they're gonna be, and, so next snowstorm that hits, we should be ready for it, or at least have people signed to where they're gonna be, so. And, right now, we're pretty well just working on, preparations for the 2026, construction season for our day neighbor projects, as well as, you know, that we're gonna be going on in conjunction with, our contract project, our overlay project, but, still kind of a tentative schedule we got going on there, but right now we're going through a lot of our inspections on our large diameter culverts. We'll be doing bridge inspections here, probably closer to the March timeframe, February, March. Always seem to find things, you know, that can alter what we're doing next year, but we'll have a kind of a tentative schedule of what our projects are looking like there. I know there's at least one culvert that we're looking at as well. We need to bump up, you know, and possibly look at doing next year a larger diameter, similar to the one over on I Avenue. I maybe mentioned this one at the last meeting, I'm not sure, but again, our schedule for our projects next year are somewhat tentative. Like I said, we're doing inspections now. Things always seem to come to light. So, and then of course, January 6th, we're closing on the Charter Road property. So that should be all set. I'm sorry, January 7th, we'll close on the property. We should have that available, and that should all be said and done. So that's really all I got for you here this morning.
We got something we were talking about earlier. I was out driving around my extra time this weekend, which I actually had some. I was down driving around Dow City and went across the Houston's where we redid theirs, you know, with the seal coat, subdivision seal coat. And then I was looking, you know, like the seal coat itself, you know, how you get the little bitty cracks, you know, basically.
It does have a little reflective surface crack.
Yeah, nothing serious. I mean, the road is still like smooth as driving across the top of that foam.
Yep.
You know, I mean, well, anyway, then I started thinking about this road out here and how I've talked to you about it before. I mean, and then after I drove that, I thought how much traffic that gets and how much this one hasn't had yet. And how I said we should rename it Oklahoma. Have all the streets in Oklahoma, all the back roads, 2 lanes, everything in Oklahoma do this. Like you're on a boat. It's like nobody leveled them out before they put it, just, there's a goat path, put a road on it. You know, I mean, sorry. But this road out here, I'm beyond disappointed with it. I really am. And I just don't know that we got to figure out what they did wrong or what we could have did. I don't know what caused that. I mean, and Kyle, we talked about that. Is it the glacier till versus those hills till? I mean, did the roads pack different? I mean, was that set up pretty good? Did it need, did it get bladed before they put the seal coat on top of it? You know?
It did. I know it was, I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure why that road does what it does in that respect. I anticipated a lot smooth drive too, and when we did have it tight bladed, after
Tight bladed, that's what, yeah.
Yeah, road was hard, you know, and we had it smooth, damn good. I know it got driven off a little bit prior to when we put the first coat of seal coat down, that tar, of course, out of prison. It was bladed nicely, drove smooth. Wouldn't have thought anything of it.
Well, what went wrong with that road?
I'll be honest, I do not know why it just kind of developed that a bit of a.
So is it
a wave to it?
Was it the subgrade stabilization not adequate? Do you guess?
I feel
you guess this.
Everything we did after we tight bladed it was hard as a rock. It just and perhaps that is the reason when we're trying to play that off, trying to scrape
Who
off.
bladed it? Did you have one of your good operators, or did they do it themselves? Or?
They did it themselves. Yeah. But we were out there saying.
I mean, I know Casey was out there because a couple times while I was doing it, I stopped. He was out there watching things, but I mean, that's why I was wondering if the soils had something different, are we comparing things like that? Cause that one's still so damn smooth out there, and this thing's a wreck.
I won't say I disagree with you, but, because that was, no. Because that is a concern of mine with some of these, as we move forward and talk about, we'll do more of this,
Well, I don't wanna do this
I'm not
next.
certain why that one ended up that way versus why that one's so good out there. Really the same process. I saw nothing to do it when we bladed it, when we tight bladed it, we finally had to give the thumbs up. Yeah, it's moved, and it was when it started. And when that happened,
That's why-
went down, after some stuff went
Does
down,
it feel like it's getting worse? Have you been on it lately?
Yeah, I've been on.
Okay.
I guess, not on and on, enough to tell if it's getting worse or not, but, I know we had the one spot coming down the hill from the intersection there and down at the park.
I mean, I was a big proponent for this damn thing. You know, I thought this is something that's gonna minimize our maintenance, it's gonna be dust control in the housing area, there could be more houses built. I mean, we had people already building them there, so I mean.
It'll minimize the maintenance, it's just not gonna be.
Also dust control, so it's.
The one thing I just thought of, a lot of that's all filtered, you know,
So, yeah.
and where that's all just, that's down there, it's just graded off.
Do we keep
That's-
track a record on what that's consists of out there? Like when you do all the other stuff, do you test all that or?
What we did
So we
prior to
can-
the project, we took samples in different areas of the road, just basically the top 12 inches or what have you, or the 8 inches that we were going to be incorporating. And really, there wasn't much difference in consistency in that regard, but as far as the soil, underlying soils, and what there is going to filter there, I guess
I'm spitballing here, I'm just a truck driver, so you're our expert. So I'm just asking a question.
I agree, because as we're looking forward to doing other projects, I don't want that to happen.
No.
Otherwise, I'd rather not do them at all,
Thank
because,
There we go.
I don't want to put
Because,
good money to
and
bed.
that is something that.
Were they done by different companies?
Pardon?
Were they done by
They were
different
done,
companies?
yes, different companies.
So do you think that has anything to do with it, or does every company have the exact same process and
It's
how to, it's always done the exact same, no matter which company you hire, it's done the same way, or?
generally speaking,
Generally
yes,
speaking,
they're gonna incorporate it with water and incorporate the cement, the water and basically it's done the same
Same
way.
recipe.
But do we watch it really close?
I just don't know. So I'm
Hey,
asking.
Casey probably watches it pretty close, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Watch it, make sure it's getting incorporated correctly. There's a lot of stop and go, associated with, but there was out there as well. So I don't think that had a whole lot to do with it, but it is. It's something that I don't have the best answer for you out there and why that one's so much different from the one out here at Easton.
And Ben, when you
But
take
it is
those
something I want
soil
to make
samples,
sure
you
we're
said,
doing it correctly before we ever do another one, because I'm with you. I'm a bit disappointed.
I know
with,
there's like
with,
Washington County, they got their own crew that does it, and they're going mad down there doing it. They love their secondary road network. And I always kind of thought it'd be nice to at least do all of our main use gravels, but that reduces dust, you know, I mean, I just think about it, if the state worked on 30 where people wanted to use that as a bypass now, I mean, is it getting worse progressively? I mean, it's getting more cracks and stuff in it, I mean.
It is gonna be periodically need to be maintained, have another seal coat put over top of it to kind of keep it. I hope down the road to be able to overlay it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we do an overlay next on that one, but
Sooner than
will the
later,
overlay be messed up? I mean, 'cause like I said, when I'm driving on them roads in Oklahoma, that's all I do is throw an overlay on it, and it's still, you're up there on a brand new road, driving like this. It's like driving a boat across a busy lake. You know, I don't wanna have a nice overlay, spend more money, you're chasing more money, good to bad.
If it's the underlying, so like I said, that's where the stabilization is. We're trying to mitigate a lot of that, because just like I said, just throwing a seal coat on a gravel road, it's for sure.
Well, let me put you to what the five of us are gonna be worried about. We're getting, all we hear from the state is budget, property tax.
Yep.
So we're gonna have to make sure our money's being spent the best we can. And being able to build good roads is one of our main jobs here, especially with you, you know. So that's why I really want to get ahead of this oyster. You know?
I agree. I certainly don't want to
Make it
do,
into a pearl instead of a shell of sand. Crap.
I mean, are there other roads you've identified that you want to do this to?
I know what you're have talked about, Deloitte Boulevard. And I'm on the same campus side here. I don't want to go down Deloitte Boulevard and have a chattery road, wavy road, after all is said and done. I don't know if it had, what it had to do with it, if it's the underlying soils, or if it's,
And you know, you
have
got-
tight bladed, smooth enough, but like I said, we tight bladed it, drove great, you know, they gave them the thumbs up, but it just seems like after the seal go went down, all of a sudden, you drove it, it's doing that.
You were brand new, and I think, feels like that job was half Paul's, half yours. So I can, a transition project like that's probably gonna get a few things. Maybe supervision.
And,
I don't know what Paul did, you know, I mean, he's not here to speak for that.
well, the design, they use a lot of the design of it, which is basically, took plans off, you know, for what we did down there, carbon copy plans, and applied it out there.
One difference,
Little less than.
we're really overlooking is it 12 inches versus 8 inches? I mean,
That's a good point, Kyle. You're right, that's an excellent point.
that extra
Feel
4
like-
inches.
That made all the difference in the world there or not.
Well, but there's questions, how do we get them answered? How do we find them answered? That's my question.
Well, what we were shooting for was a certain presence string, which, and not having the hit traffic, ag traffic, we were able to get the same compressive strength in the 8
You were
inches
talking about this.
to handle the vehicle loads that we anticipated.
Should we have compacted it even better? Or did you think it was satisfactory?
Boy, they rolled it.
Okay, I'm asking.
And that's just it, they rolled it compacted, it was hard as a rock, and
That might be
And,
an issue right there. We find.
in my opinion, part of the problem is it's so large, it's just trying to tighten lady in. We as much, we tried to get as much, as smooth as much, smooth as we could.
Well, that's the lighter traffic
Eventually,
out there.
We couldn't scrape much more on the high front, and we finally said, okay, you know, can't keep trying to build off high spots on the concrete, basically, and went with it. I don't, but like I said, after driving after it was final bladed, before they put down seal coat. Everybody kind of.
And that was all flat down there too, and this was rolling, so I mean, that's gonna be a little probably different too, going up and down hill.
But yeah, that's a conversation we're gonna have with, whoever, if we do another project, how are you gonna get this as smooth as possible? How you gonna, but we're gonna drive them out there and say.
Oh, drive them there and then drive them there, and then
For some
say, how do we
reason
get to that instead of that? Yeah, excellent point.
When,
And,
they did that, didn't they like really overdo excess Portland cement too? Didn't they like dump way too much Portland cement in that down there at first too?
had a bit of a, yes, that's the other thing, we had nothing but troubles down on that one down there as far as trying to get the water incorporation, correct, and, the other equipment wasn't working quite right,
Oh, my.
and
Didn't
all
they-
things should point to that one having, been the one that should have issues.
I thought when I stopped and talked to Casey that one day, they were having some trouble with their machine too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Or did I
Yes,
say
I'm
that?
not familiar with
I
that.
don't know if I,
There might be so many variables, we may never find out the true answers. but
Yeah.
I mean, but we need to
But
keep
no,
track of all
I
that.
100% agree with Ty. I don't want that project to be done, you know,
So-
that kind of results in other areas. too.
Yeah.
Like,
that would
we
be
do have to figure out why did that. do
So it might be best
that?
just to reach out to some of these counties that have done several of these projects and say
Talk to the
what
engineer
works,
in
what
Washington
don't work.
County. There you go. Cause they do it
There are
themselves.
some guys that do a lot
He's
of this,
aware of
and
the
they use
thickness.
some different
I'm
products.
sure other counties have said, you know what? We've experimented with it 8 inches or 6 inches and it just don't work.
Yeah.
You gotta do 10, you gotta do 12 or whatever.
Yeah, great point, Kyle. I mean, we're all asking questions at this
Yep.
point. Nobody's accusing anybody of anything.
No, before
Even the
before
contract.
you said a word, I thought the same thing though. I don't want that kind of result on it. And I'm not.
Well, this county's your masterpiece now. Build it right.
Well, we're always gonna aim for that, of course. But no, I agree. And like I said, I don't think I'd be afraid to put an overlay on that and smooth things out. I think the base is good,
Okay.
to tell you quite honestly. I think a lot of it just had to be, and how we tried to get out there and get the type blading done. I don't know if it got too hard to be able to get a smooth blade off of it, or but I don't know how you would have done that differently at that time. Tell you quite honestly, but
Tight blade, is that what you call that?
well, a finished blade, yeah. Well, after it's been incorporated, it's cured, then they do a final blading. But like I said, after it's cured, it's got that concrete in. It's as hard as a rock, and basically trying to scrape off, to smooth things. Basically scraping on rock, are very hard to concrete, and gravel mix. So to
What
try
about-
and make that smooth.
Well, something like that, where, yeah, what is the little thing that does the grinds the lines?
I mean, you could come in with a milling machine, probably
Milling
and mill it off.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, that's extra
Ruin
project,
everything with
extra
power.
funding, but
And that'd be a stipulation if it's after blading, if it doesn't meet certain smoothness, to have that in the contract.
there,
We
well, that's
require it
Yeah,
to be this smooth before that seal coat, before
That's
the actual
excellent,
seal coat goes
excellent.
down. I could see some language being in there on any future project to that.
see the danger of sending me to meetings at the DOT office?
If you want my personal opinion on what went on out there, it was smooth, but I think we scraped off some of that hard stuff, filled in the lows with some looser material. We had weather against us at that time. I know it was wet, but we had a lot of traffic driving on it after we had tight blade. And that's what that spot was that we had to fill
yeah, I
in.
remember that.
And it just got driven on and mashed in, and right ahead of when the seal coat machine came in to put on that first layer of tar, and after the tar went down.
It's like that.
It was a.
So like
In my
that, where
opinion,
there's
that's
that
what
dip
happened.
and
Yeah,
stuff, would
this material
would
filled
an
in all those
overlay
spots.
fill fix that then, or would that just push the overlay? That's the thing about asphalt is over time you push it out, but we don't have a lot of heavy traffic.
I think any loose material would have got consolidated underneath that seal coat, or came in when the seal coat went down, got incorporated with it. So, and that probably did cause a little bit of that. I'm not 100% certain, but that's my opinion of what maybe caused the way it is.
Right
Don't
combination.
have
of all
100%
of them.
perfect answers on that.
12
one
inches.
for a time.
I guess, before we actually do that again, bet you call me and I'll drive my truck across it, because boy, I seem to be able to find that stuff out there.
That's
It's
a
more than average.
Yeah, you got it down.
Thanks, Ben.
I'll cut it off so we can get to the rest of the meeting. But thanks. I just got questions. is all.
No, I 100% agree, before we do another one, but
We gotta
that,
get it right.
we need to know why that did that, and we're gonna take whoever gets the contract. This is what we don't want,
There you go.
but we don't want it to end up like this, make sure, and whatever language we need to put in the next contract, we will, so.
Here we go.
Thanks, Ben.
I just listened to how Stu Anderson, the guys at the state deal.
Thanks, man.
Anal they
I
are
know there was
about
something
inspecting and
on
stuff.
the agenda, FM, is there anything I need to be signing
Me too.
in that
Yeah.
regard?
Gotta bring it up.
Master matrix.
No, that's for the board to sign.
County engineer to execute certificates for farm to market projects for Crawford County.
For
We just
them
have to
sign.
approve.
There's nothing I need to do in that regard.
Nope,
No,
you've got
Thank you,
it.
sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate you
Thank you.
going through the extra drilling. I know what it feels like to sit in front of counters.
That's for that first newspaper resolution.
Yeah, I'll move on to approve official newspaper resolution. Yes, it would have to be 2026-1.
So we have 4 applications for the
Right. Manila,
official
the
newspaper.
Observer, West Side,
I believe Iowa code
Denison Free Press.
requires 3.
Does it say anything about their membership or viewership or readership?
It does.
It does.
Denison Free Press has 540 subscribers. The Denison Bulletin Review has,
It's on the back of their little form.
yeah, there's a little form right here. I'm trying to read it. Oh, down here. Total sum is 388. The observer, 938. Manila Times, 600.
We have to have three.
So according to those, the three would be the Manila, the Observer, and the Denison Free Press.
I'd make a motion that be our official newspapers by resolution.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I think the only thing that I would like to throw in there is the Denison Free Press. She also owns the La Prensa. It'd be nice if we could get them in both papers, not for twice the cost, for the same cost. So our Hispanic speaking and reading citizens,
Can see.
I don't know if we can, I don't think we can require her to do that, but I think we can certainly ask.
Certainly ask.
Once it gets done,
It would
that
be
she would do
a good
that,
service
instead of
for-
it just being in the Denison Free
Be
Press.
fabulous.
She would post it for no additional cost. Any further discussion?
I think it's good to go with the top three and they are the main papers according to the numbers.
Resolution.
Resolution, thank you, Gene.
You guys get that?
Kyle,
Press, Manila Times, and Observer.
Aye. Dave?
Aye.
Gene?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Chair votes aye, motion carries.
So, efficient. Print that also is on the side.
They're all resolutions. To pay claims prior to audit.
I'd make the motion to approve resolution 26-2.
Second.
Motion and a second. Further discussion?
None.
Not by resolution. Kyle?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Gene?
Aye.
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 Chair votes aye, motion carries. Move on to resolution 2026-3, name and depositors.
Depositories. Do we have that?
It was brought past the treasurer for her input also. Wells Fargo, 10 million, Crawford County Trust, 10 million, West Side Savings, 10 million, Bank Iowa, 25 million, UBI, 10 million, Defiance State Bank, 25,000, and I paid 25 million.
I'd make a motion to name the depositories as listed on that list.
I'll second that.
Second, further discussion? Now we'll roll call. Kyle?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Jeannie?
Aye.
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 Chair votes aye, motion
Number 4
carries.
is not a resolution.
Oh.
How can you see that?
Signature authorization for CEO change, Region 12.
That's because it's the Board of Supervisor Chair, so.
I would make a motion to change this authorization, the CEO authorization change.
I'll second that.
Motion by Ty, second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Chair votes aye, motion carries. Number 5. The necessity for economic efforts and improving and promotion of such efforts.
I would make a motion to approve the resolution regarding necessity of economic efforts in improving and promotion and of such efforts.
I'll second that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Motion by Ty, second by Jean. This by resolution. Kyle?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Jean?
Aye.
Ty?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries. Number 6, do we have a motion?
So moved. Farm to market projects, county engineer.
I'll second that.
By Dave, second by Jean. Any further discussion? Now we'll roll call by resolution. Kyle?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Jean?
Aye.
Ty?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries. On to number 7.
I would make a motion to approve the construction evaluation on the master matrix.
A second.
Motion by Ty, second by Gene. Further discussion? Not well, roll call by resolution. Kyle.
I support.
Dave.
Hi.
Gene.
Aye.
Ty.
Aye. Good job.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries. Board committee appointments. We had the list out last week asking for any changes. If we did, nobody had any changes, we'll all just keep the same board assignments that we did last year. I know we do have a sheet though that hasn't designated.
Is there a few that will go with chair and vice?
There
Make
is,
those
the
adjustments.
bargaining unit is chair and vice. Courthouse and annex is chair and Martins. HIPAA committee is chair and Martins. Insurance is chair, vice, and Martins. Yeah, and Central Iowa Detention has Rossberg on it. There's a blank for alternate. Was there an alternate
We've
before?
never had an alternate since I've been.
Okay,
But
okay.
I don't remember, did you have one with Cecil? Because he was
I
before
don't
me.
think so. I don't think so. I just didn't know what the words pleasure was on that. So yeah, it can be left blank, so
Yeah,
no
I
big
don't
deal.
think, you know, they actually talked about that at one of our meetings with the new 28E, about making it a mandatory to have an alternate, because some don't send anybody, you
Oh,
know, or some people don't show up. But, you know, most of us at least Zoom in. And
Yeah.
like right now, I've been just Zooming because I can't vote on anything.
Yeah,
But I am trying to keep my
You
eye
know,
on.
that happens at the Yes Center too. I had a county very rarely. Very
This
rarely.
has early childhood, it has Mulbauer and Dozark. Is that still
Actually, early childhood is G.
your early childhood?
no, that's the,
Oh, you're
Oh,
talking
oh,
imagination.
that's the 2080
Okay.
agreement between county and city.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
early
Yeah,
childhood,
not ECI.
2080.
Yeah.
So is it Mulbauer and Dozark?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is, okay. Elder Bridges, Dozark,
Hi.
early childhood, yep, Heidi and Mulbauer,
We let it go.
got it.
We put you on that hard job.
EMA,
You can drive faster,
your decaf,
I'm chair.
get there on time.
yeah, you are.
I've got 2080.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
I'm thinking our chair, you're our chair.
So besides a few of them that
Chair and
go with
everything.
chair and vice, it's all the same.
Yeah.
I make a motion to approve the committee appointments as presented.
Second.
Motion by Gene, second by Dave. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Holidays for 2026.
January 19th is a holiday.
Already.
We could have had it.
Yeah.
We could have-
We'd
Could've
be-
said
we'd
no.
be
Saved
so
by the
lonely
bell.
here. We'd be so lonely in here.
They look like the same. President's Day in February, May is Memorial Day, July is Independence Day. That's a Friday. Ooh. Labor Day is September 7th, Veterans Day is November 11th. Thanksgiving and the day after, 26 and 27, Christmas
Thanksgiving on
Eve.
Thursday.
I know, isn't that crazy?
It always lands on a Thursday.
Just, yeah,
Thank
But
very.
didn't they make the day after Christmas a national holiday now? Didn't Trump do that? I had heard that.
No.
No, that didn't really happen.
I
So
think
Christmas
they-
Eve and
this
Christmas
year-
Day are Thursday and
Yeah,
Friday
I think
this
fake
year.
news is it.
That's fun. 4-day weekend, hot dog. And New Year's Day is Friday this year.
New Year's and Christmas.
Yeah.
Get the travel
Same
agent on
as
the
this
phone
year.
now.
I think
Yeah,
it's-
Christmas
I think
will be a
it's
4-day week.
Okay,
We always like to throw an extra in, but we don't do that this year.
we better. Yeah.
I can't take your word.
Yeah,
Look
no,
at
I
it.
wouldn't either.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
I
either.
already got,
I'm sketchy at
before
best, so.
Thanksgiving, I already got nailed for next year's Veterans Day for speaking.
You already got appointments for that?
Already got it.
Well, yeah.
It's a holiday. you can't work.
July 3rd.
The 4th is a Saturday. I already get that day
Got
off.
that, I got nailed,
I
actually, I
want
think
more, I want more.
at the teacher that's on the ball there, I'm
Yeah.
getting it all lined up for next year.
You're funny.
We gotta top this year's.
Yeah. Wow.
Jet.
Had pretty good time this year.
I didn't,
It looks pretty
Usually
good.
get a few years. So
feel right.
You want a motion to
Yes.
approve the holidays as presented and approved by Kyle?
I'll second your motion.
Motion by Gene, second by Kyle to approve the holidays for 2026. Any further discussion? Roll call, those in favor say aye. Motion
Sorry, I
carries.
should have waited.
Yeah.
You got an awful preview over there.
We have another list with the board meeting dates for 2026. I mean, we kind of started last year with there's 5 Tuesdays. We are just going to meet on 4 of those. And so I'm going to continue that policy. And I've listed,
March.
usually in the middle of the month, I think there's 4, 1 per quarter. And we won't be meeting.
March, June, September, and December.
March is on St. Patrick's Day, so we'll all have that day.
It depends on when the claims are paid. I just did.
Yeah.
Whenever we're not paying
Yeah.
claims.
So there might be some flexibility in that. though.
There certainly would be on a
We
monthly
are
basis.
flexible.
We would change it if we
Yeah,
wanted to.
something crazy
Right.
happened,
We are flexible.
because that never
I thought it
happened,
was.
so.
Right, right.
First meeting of the year happened.
Speaking of flexible,
I'll make that motion.
By Dave, second by Kai. Further discussion? No, roll call, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries. On to number 12. Appointments to commission to assess damages.
Did we fill anything up?
Did we get them filled?
I didn't find any.
I found John Quan.
John Quan?
He said he would do it.
Who's John Quan? Oh, is that insurance?
Yeah.
No.
Yes,
Yeah, you said you were gonna talk.
yep, he works at Hoffman Agency.
So we needed one. What was the other job?
So,
What?
so instead of James Jepson,
Yeah, John
Instead
Quan.
of Clarence, am I on the right one?
yeah,
Yeah, to
instead of
replace Clarence.
instead of James Jepson, John Quan said he would.
I don't see.
I never contacted.
I
James
didn't either.
Jepson, So,
I
John
did,
Quan.
She said she was gonna
Instead of
talk to
James
John.
Jackson.
I did talk
And
to
I
John
didn't hear
Quan
anything,
down
so I
at
said-
Hoffman
Is
Agency.
that HN, JOHN, or JON?
JOHN.
JOHN. UAND.
we needed, really.
Two realtors.
We need 2 of them?
Two. Tom Hawley, Neil Froyle, Rita Scheckinger, Jim Brown, and Dave Wiggins.
Are there any other realtors?
Should we put
Are we
Jim
talking
Brown's
about
daughter?
Tracy?
We got Jim,
Is
Well,
there
we need to
a,
ask
is there
her.
a requirement of how many to have?
7.
Oh,
well, we have Tracy and Jim Brown's daughter.
Did we talk to either of
I
them?
did
not.
not.
Let's talk to them. We can still, you can approve what you have. You can add to it
I will
later.
have to get Jim Brown's daughter's first name. She was a broker.
You know, I can't think of her name.
I don't know who realtors are.
Oh, no, that's right, maybe as we used to, it doesn't seem like. There is one working for my course,
well, that doesn't have, open up his own business.
not that I know.
Okay.
But is he licensed on it? I mean, he would have to be licensed on his own, right? But if he is, it could be a potential.
I'll,
That's a good idea.
I'll
They
talk,
have to live in the county.
I would think
I'm
so,
assuming, yes.
I would think so.
I don't
Just
know.
think
Ask
like
for
in
that
the Chapin boys, if they live in the county and have a real
because they
estate
sell
license.
over here. They don't.
I'm not sure where they reside at, Dunlap, the Chapins, they could
John
be,
and Jim are in Dunlap.
yeah, but they're in, because I mean, that's pretty,
Do they have to reside in the county?
that's what I was just,
It
that's
would
what I
make
was asking.
sense
Okay.
that they would, but they would also know the
I don't even know
valuations
for
of
sure where
things.
Jim is, but I
Yeah.
think he's in Dunlap.
That's why, but, I mean, they do a lot of business within our county,
Right.
that's what I was.
They do.
Ashley Hankey is
They would
works
be
for
engaged in
Rebacks.
knowing what to do.
Yeah,
She works-
Ashley Hankey would be another
She
good
works
one.
at United Bank of Iowa last week, so she would have kind of a.
Do you know if those members have to reside in the county?
I would guess so. I don't know that firsthand.
That's, we were just talking about the Chapins that, Dunlap,
Oh.
but they do a lot of work in Crawford County, so
Yeah, I
I mean,
don't
they
know
probably
that
know more
answer.
knowledgeable
We
about
can
some of
find
the stuff.
that out.
Do you want me to talk to Ashley? 'Cause
Yeah,
I do-
Ashley Hankey would be
I'll ask
another
her.
good, really good.
Really? Really?
I could probably see her
But if
today.
you
but I
know
go
if
to
anyone
the bank,
has
it's
just
not
gotta
so
reside in Crawford County.
Have they ever met?
Not that I know of yet, no.
I was looking through old minutes that my grandfather was on that committee for the farmers for 20 years.
Really? Let's put him back on. He's
A little
still
bit.
got
I mean,
it.
it's pretty extreme. We'll find out, so that way.
The only thing I
Mike
would
brought
ever think
the
like the Seminole
scope of who you
landfill,
can
Yeah.
use.
pipeline starts coming
But you
through.
can definitely
That's what I
approve what you
told John.
have, what's been presented.
Okay,
I make a motion to approve what we have on the list and to reach out to these other 2 realtors or 3 realtors and see who we could get. I'd make the motion to approve what we have on the commission to assess damages for now.
okay, motion by Ty,
Second.
motion and a second. Further discussion?
Thank you.
None, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Chair votes aye. On to number 13, the appointment of medical examiner investigator.
We had 2, or not new, but reappointments.
Medical and Dustin Miller,
Just Dustin.
because you just did 3 last week.
Right.
Are they,
Okay, yeah, that's right, we did
are they
that.
2-year terms or 1-year terms? They can't be one year.
Dustin or Dustin?
This one will end in 20.
Stretching my brain.
Is it Dustin or
This
I
one
think
has
they
a
beat it
Dustin.
till Deputy was part, right? Let's keep it in point. He was on it.
2, this is till December of 27, or the one you just did last week. So is that 2-year terms then?
2 years. I'll look like it as well, so we must.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? None, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries. Appointments of Region 12, Council of Government Policy Council. Does that mean we need 2 people or?
It's Sarah Carlson, and do I have things? Oh, I do. Plus. Me and
You're
Ryan,
so
yeah.
approved, Abby,
I am.
with the,
I'm working hard over
you're
here.
so approved, happy with the vacation.
Oh, yeah, that's important. Residents of the county, permission to assist. Thanks, Megan.
Wow.
We thought so, but we wanted to make sure. All right,
So-
that takes care of it.
It says shall appoint not less than 28 residents of the county. So 7 and 7 and 7 and 7.
If I could
Wow.
call
That's
it
what we
Okay,
currently do.
right now.
man, that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's probably
If they
only half
have
of
to do
them
it,
are
like,
gonna
you
show
think
up.
about it, if, like, they run that pipeline all the way across the county, having 28 of them on there, probably gonna be necessary.
1/4 owner operator of agricultural property, 1/4 owner of city property, 1/4 licensed real estate salesperson or real estate brokers, and 1/4 knowledge of, I just lost it. My eyes didn't line up. Property values in the county by reason of their occupation, such as bankers, auctioneers, property managers, property appraisers, and persons responsible for making loans on property. FYI, put that in your bucket of knowledge.
Good to know, we'll forget by this time next year, so we should
Never
have a
know.
little folder we make
I
up.
know, we
That's
should attach it to
You think
this.
somebody from the assessor's office, if we have a hard time finding somebody, that would fit into the real estate one or into the other knowledgeable one?
Probably the last one I read.
All right.
Policy Council. Sarah and.
No Mulbauer.
I got a thing from,
That's you.
Rick that I was also.
I mean, we put 28 people on there, and then if they meet, a district judge selects 2 from each one of those to be on the.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I got a thing from Rick, wanting to know if I wanted to re-up.
Do they have to select 2 and then probably alternates,
Maybe
don't
he's
they?
wrong.
Kind of like a
Yes.
trial? Yeah.
Yes.
I think they're good.
So I'd make a motion
Okay,
to appoint Region 12 COG Policy Council to Sarah and Linda.
I'm good.
They're 1-year terms.
1-year term.
motion by Kyle, second by Jean.
Yep.
Further discussion? None, all those in favor say aye. Motion carries. Move on to number 15.
Everybody,
We
we
supposed
got
to
a
do something for you?
full thing on the board of adjustments, don't we?
Rick, he must be wrong. I could tell him I wouldn't serve again, so. Maybe I'm.
We did something annually with the.
I don't think we do your.
I think I'm on it with some different that he asked me.
Okay.
From a housing perspective, wasn't it?
Maybe, yeah.
The,
Did you live in one? No, I'm just kidding.
board of adjustments, we didn't have to put anybody different on that, that was complete, wasn't it?
Adjustments, zoning administrator, board of adjustments.
Kurt,
Says-
Rita, and Stephanie.
Let's see, I don't know where. I don't have. What's this investment?
Helps. The assessment.
Stay up, put them on it.
Who serves on the board of adjustment?
Kurt Miller, Rita, Schekinger, Stephanie Weeks.
Here's, that's one of them deals again, is that solely our responsibility to pick that, or is that?
Is that the conference board?
For the conference board, and the mayors pick their own, and
We
this,
pick one,
and this, we each.
so
pick
we
our
would
own.
have to make, I know, we could pick three of,
Jason,
you know, we
That would
we
just
could
be ours.
reaffirm ours.
That's just ours.
which one's yours?
Mr.
Kurt.
Schultz.
Kurt is.
Well, as far as that goes, I can make a motion to
What, reappoint?
reappoint
Kurt?
Kurt Miller as our
Kurt Miller.
representative of the board of adjustments.
Okay, motion by Kyle,
I'll second.
second by Gene. Further discussion? Roll calls, if you say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We'll interrupt our proceedings. Jason, our representative, came in. I'm sure his ears were itching and mouth were red about an hour ago, so I'm sure that's why you showed up.
We were just kind of discussing,
Don't listen to Zoom.
working with you guys
Oh, sure.
and on the property tax and other things that are gonna be affecting us.
Well, I actually planned on being here at about that time,
Wow.
and then my world changed. I forgot that my truck is licensed at 8 ton. And finances call for hauling corn this coming week when it warms up. I don't know what the fine would be, but I don't think the truck is worth it.
You don't want to get fined if you get caught. So.
Oh, boy, and that works really well until,
That Damon looks so
Up
good.
until that.
that's not the headline. No, guys, I'm just gonna stop in. You know, we
Thanks.
start on the.
You're always welcome here. I mean, when you guys start in session, if you want to keep in contact with the board, let us know what's happening in Des Moines. Certainly it would be appreciated.
The overarching is gonna be budget.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I always use this language, so I'm accountable for my choices. My president's big beautiful bill is going to cost about $420 million in revenue
For you guys?
for the state of Iowa, that's estimates. So we're already looking at an incredibly tight budget, just so you know.
And mostly all Medicaid money that you'll be short.
Well,
Or-
you can't be short that.
Well, I mean, the funding from previous fiscal year, will Medicaid funding be short 400 million less than the year before from the
No, that's
feds?
just general, 400 million is just general revenues expected to come in. And that's because we made the decision getting to be a bunch of years ago, to couple with federal law, so federal law changes, so essentially we tax what they tax for income. And he's got the tips and the overtime and multiple other provisions in there. that
Well,
we're-
that'll cost you money on the tips and overtime.
For lack of revenue.
Yeah.
And I use the word cost, that it costs us.
So you
but it
guys get
doesn't.
unfunded mandates too.
Oh, yeah.
They pass them on.
We're choosing to abide by them. We have the option of decoupling. I don't think we're gonna do it. I think we're gonna, no, we said we're gonna stick to federal. Tax cuts have a benefit of their own. So we're going to just make the hard decisions there. So that will be the umbrella subject over all of it. And that is because of the tight financial situation. All policy chairs have been told that any bill, I mean, you got policy and you have appropriations. Well, any policy chair who has a bill in their committee that has a fiscal impact, we're supposed to already have anything we know about on the list for the appropriations staff to monitor. Because we're told that even small expenditures they're gonna tell us, just don't even run that bill. We're not going to include it, things are tight, and, so, and I like that, the fewer bills we run, probably the better. Anytime government does less, I think. So.
Give more time to work on property.
Well, that's what I'm getting to. So got the umbrella of revenue and appropriations, that's gonna exist the whole session.
Yeah.
The first day, I believe we're in line to drop a carbon capture bill, an eminent domain bill that includes provisions of both the House and the Senate previous discussions. I don't know where that's gonna go, but that's what's gonna start the first week. And so you'll probably be seeing issues like that for the first month. I don't expect the House to suddenly just say, well, good, it's solved. I mean, we'll work something out. We've got school funding that first 30 days that we have to do, you know, and that, so that'll be there. It doesn't affect here at all. And then,
It kind of does. It kind of does, school funding.
School funding, yeah, I suppose.
It affects the county.
During that time, I know Dawson's working on a property tax bill. The governor's working on a property tax bill. And my understanding is they are not all, they're both thinking their own bills. They're not working on one bill together. Which, in my experience, is going to lead to, it's gonna, and totally understandable. It's gonna lead to the news telling the people of Iowa that every provision of both bills is what's going to become law, and that's not the case. So it'd be important to just, you know.
Fake news.
Well, not intentionally, it's just lack of detail and, you know, people read headlines in the first paragraph.
Yeah.
I guess what I came to warn you, you're gonna hear different bills, they're not being merged. Currently, they're not working together. So you're gonna have different bills that have different provisions. And, every provision you hear is not going to be part of the final bill. So.
I would just ask you, Jason, if you could just keep in mind our budget process and the certification timeline so that hopefully we don't certify and then something comes up and we have to start from scratch again.
I'm told nothing we do will have that immediate impact. I mean,
So 7 to
takes a
18
year
will
out.
be throughout the year.
What's that?
7 to 18 is gonna go throughout this year
I
for
think so.
sure. And then
Okay.
That would be my prediction.
Well, that's good to know.
Good to know for us so that we kind of know where we
Helps us do
stand.
our job.
My understanding is everything is out the 18 months, I mean, just because it's, so,
Don't get the government
and I
out.
don't have any real, I mean, I've heard rumors and that even sounds shallow, but I've heard unsubstantiated thoughts on what could be in there. But if I say them here and they don't show up, you're gonna think that I misled you, so I'm gonna hold on to those. But as things come out, which they will the first couple weeks, I'm happy to give you that idea.
We would ask if you would give us a call every time you think, how bad is this gonna affect the county? Just see what we would think. I mean, obviously but it gives you an idea how that would affect us. You know, I mean, if you aren't sure. I mean, we may not have the answer, but then you could call Jamie or Lucas.
Hey, I guess they're more engaged this time than they were the first time.
Oh, they better.
We've been talking about that.
I think there's been a few tough Jesus conversations. So I think you're going to be better represented as far as them being there to hear the conversation and them, so I'll welcome that as much as you.
I think Andrea's staying involved a lot too, so that gives them 3 over their working, which helps.
But I've heard they're already more involved than they have been. And reaching out saying, if you have a meeting with us.
I think property tax reform is something we all would agree probably needs to be done, but
No problem.
thinking outside of the box and trying to fix it is, as far as us as a standpoint, you know, what services would we cut with property taxes? But how do you fix that on a state level is, you know, schools take a big chunk of it. And don't cut me wrong, we need education. But how do you put a statewide sales tax in to offset some of the tax dollars going to the school so you can reduce property taxes or somehow, like you said, think outside of the box.
You know, Evans gave us a great a great analogy about that statewide sales tax. He was talking about one
8 cents, 1 cent would be 1,000.
It only covered like 1/8.
Yeah, $1,000 per student, 1 cent would cost.
Yeah.
So, but it would cover a portion.
But he gave us something that we could think about too, to see, because I think you gotta look outside the box on how can we fund some things differently. I mean, we're putting it all on the backs of the property taxpayers. Basically, we've already been doing what Mondami's doing. We're taxing the people that are the property owners, right? The wealthy, which really aren't all wealthy. However, you get my point. You know, we're putting it all on the backs of the people that have the property to fund things like the schools and everything else.
Yes.
And some of the stuff they're not even involved.
Tax wind and solar 100%.
That's what we talked a lot about that at
The wind
supervisors.
and solar things, and you know, like severance or the excise tax or something like that, maybe that's something we gotta look at. We don't wanna chase industry away. I get that, but we've gotta look at some stuff. Hard calls, as you said earlier.
There are, for wind and solar, because I chased this down for Ida County a few years ago. Just be aware that the latest information I got back then was that some of that was optional to the counties, not taxing at the full rate. Do your own due diligence and, talk to your own legal counsel. But some of every time I went, so I played the middleman. I'd go ask a question, I get told, well, no, they don't have to abate all that stuff. They can tax. Then I'd go back, I was told something, I'd go back and hear the other. Do your own due diligence. From what I understand, the bottom line is that a lot of that was optional or allowed and not mandated.
But I remember that when they were changing that, because we were on our 20th year, we were thinking we were going to go ahead and tax a little bit more, but then it was going to be based off of the revenue that it produced, and we
Okay.
were told that that was going to be so hard to identify that we would get less probably
Thank you.
than that.
Then if you left it alone.
And if we left it alone, so yeah,
I
that
will
scares us.
pursue that.
That's kind of what, remember that? Am
I do remember that.
Because I know there's a lot of talk even in our district meetings that as these wind turbine companies reboot or rebuild their turbines, they put out more out,
Yeah.
repowered.
Yep.
We're not capturing that revenue.
That's the additional megawatts.
Yeah.
I have heard about that.
But it is scary to think about, we're not satisfied with what we know is guaranteed we're gonna get, and then to not sign the new deal, and then somehow they don't have the formula how to figure out what they're producing, and we get less. That scared us.
I'm gonna call Pam today on my way back to the truck.
Yeah,
With my registration.
yeah,
And I put it on her radar.
yeah, see, that's still the,
Yeah, that's what we've been talking about, is trying to find other ways to, where there might be room for a tax to help with the schools. Because the schools, I don't know, were we 51 here? Well, I just read up another county that was talking about they were 49. So I suspect we're gonna be in that 45 to 55 window for every county out there, for schools, it's just that. So if we find some way to help find revenues for that would reduce property tax right there. Because we only charge what we have to have to sustain the activities and the equipment that we have to currently have. We're not growing the problem here.
Schools and property tax and funding. All the last budget briefing I just sat in, that the number was popped out. So when an entity tips an area for whatever reason, good or bad reasons, the state backfills the school portion that they miss. It's $85 million a year. So we're backfilling. That costs some people's eye. But yeah, because we're looking at the same thing. How do we, where's the money going and how do we do things differently? Now, with the recording and the microphone here, I certainly need to say right away, we're not planning on saying we're no longer backfilling. That's not going to happen. But we are going to start looking at if an area is going to decide to use TIF, that area's got to make that decision knowing that the entities who are foregoing future property tax revenue are going to forego the property tax revenue. Right now, it's easy for schools to say, oh yeah, go ahead, no problem at all. They bear none of it.
I don't think there's anything
Or a small, they bear much less of it.
I don't think there's anything wrong with looking at everything.
Yeah.
Then weigh out cause and effect. And then obviously things you won't do. know, we know what our priorities are, and our kids have always been a number one.
You know, Jason, I was researching January 15th, 2026, Crawford County turns 175 years old. And so I was looking back in 1951 to see if there was a resolution when we turned 100, if the Board of Supervisors passed any resolution or did anything, or anything publicly was in the paper. And so I was reading, and I couldn't find anything, but just what struck me was that they had the Crawford County basketball tournament, 8 high schools in Crawford County at that time, 1951. 8 high schools.
Were they all one room?
But that just shocked me to think that there were 8 high schools in Crawford County back then. And Kyron was favored to win the boys division. And Dow City was favored to win the girls division.
Really?
Yep.
That's funny.
Denison girls team was winless that year. They were 0-9, I think, going into the tournament or something. But just surprising. But things have changed dramatically over the last 75 years in the funding, be it local funding versus state funding. And it almost seems like the more that the state has funded, I mean, because we had property tax issues from the public's perspective back in the 50s and 60s. And so the state a lot of times started to step in and pay for more and more education, pay for more and more mental health, pay for more and more Medicaid, if you want to say the poor, and those type of issues. And now 75 years later, we still have a problem. And taxes are still a problem. And it seems like, has government really solved anything?
Let me ask you this, you know, when we're talking about cutting property taxes and having to cut or clean up what we're doing, we talk about like on the secondary road, we're doing it in the courthouse system, or maybe in the city system. Do we have, you know, because we changed mental health, they're talking about public health, different things like that, to hopefully reduce expense on the county property tax. Do they talk about that in the school systems too? I don't know what they talk about there. Which is your biggest property tax?
Well, that's the biggest segment.
Consumer. Maybe that's something we need to talk more about, how do we combine sources there? Is it possible? Maybe they ain't possible, but I mean, it was like with Doge, I mean, you gotta leave no stone unturned. I mean, we're not gonna be able to do everything, obviously.
And I'm not accusing anybody of fraud, but watching the states be revealed to have massive amounts of fraud that doesn't mean every state doesn't have something even accidentally slipping through.
Yeah, correct.
Without intent.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
just never been looked at.
That's the way we've always done it. You know, that's the answer that you hear a lot. That's the way we've always done
That's the
it.
way we've always done it.
And you realize, well, you've been doing it wrong this whole time.
So, I guess I'll leave, I'm happy to answer questions on others.
And when, you know, you said that this first week you're gonna talk about eminent domain, where do you think that's gonna go, or what's your game on that? How are you gonna proceed with that?
I believe there's gonna be a compromise that doesn't fully satisfy everybody, and that's just the way it is sometimes. There's going to be part of the problem with the bill that caused all the controversy last year, was it included far more than just simply dealing with carbon capture, and it would have made building infrastructure very, very difficult. So, if I predict it and I'm wrong, it's gonna look like bad, but it's going to provide more opportunities for folks putting in infrastructure. And this goes all the way to those massive power line, transmission lines, and hydrous, even rural water. I mean, but it's gonna give them more leeway to go where willing landowners are okay.
Willing landowner.
Willing landowners.
We've been talking about.
Yeah.
That's,
2 years.
yeah.
3 years.
And defining essential purpose more
and
than
that'll
just
probably-
profit.
But there's gonna be, that'll be strengthened.
Yeah.
But number one, we found that we're one of the most restrictive corridor states. You know, a lot of states don't even have a corridor. The project goes to what their equivalent of the Utilities Commission. They say, we want to go from here to here, and we're gonna go try to find willing landowners, and they don't care where it is. we are one of the most restrictive states, saying, well, you've got to stay in this little corridor. And it's practically a straight line from there to there. We think if you allow people,
I've been barking about that since the very start.
yeah, just let people.
Just remember that Iowa is not for sale,
Yeah,
so I think we'll be okay.
yeah.
Remember that.
Well, Iowa, it's, the farmer's welcome to put his land for sale, but we shouldn't be selling their land.
No,
You see what I'm
no,
saying?
I agree with you completely.
Yeah.
So, but
Think about
I'm among those who think last year's bill, the one that came up at the end, was not workable. It would have interfered with everything else. And we were told by the folks who have no dog in the carbon fight, but they were coming up saying, we won't be able to do a thing in Iowa with this.
That's interesting.
And I don't know why they would do that unless, I mean, just the electrical infrastructure alone that would have been affected. Would have impacted everything from hopefully the developing green hydrogen they want to do by Fort Dodge. That's energy intensive, the data centers that all of our RECs are actually starting to serve now, nuclear. We've been set back. We have to have infrastructure, we still got to develop. That wasn't going to happen very
And
easily.
please make sure they're remembering Western Iowa when they use the word.
Yeah. Well, I can't believe the number of data centers we have in Western Iowa right now.
Well, Council Bluff, but they're still in the same, the rich keep getting richer.
I agree, I know
And I'm not
Council Bluffs has
counting-
that down there.
But Bitcoin Center, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Data center. Where do we have them other than Council Bluff?
I was at an REC regional meeting in Sioux City here 3 weeks ago, or 4. 5 out of the 6 RECs at that regional meeting have one or many more.
All in Woodbury County or?
Plymouth, Woodbury, Manona's now.
They got a data? Or
Well,
Bitcoin?
their definition of data, I think, is pretty broad. I mean, I'll take
They
that,
just got a Bitcoin.
but they're pretty happy to
Right,
have it.
they mentioned that at
Yeah.
our.
REC.
Yeah. No, they
They are
are,
the people.
it lowers the cost for all the rest of their members.
Well, then they would.
I've never seen my electric bill go down.
Never.
They would say that it doesn't go up as fast, is what I'm guessing they're gonna say,
Doesn't go up.
but I understand the sentiment.
Interesting.
So,
Those are some things we need to work on.
It's kind of a irony though. I mean, I know where they built it in Monona County, they had to bring all new power lines into this thing, so, just so they could have it.
yeah, no, they do, my understanding.
We're at a power negative in this state, and so they're bringing these big power demanding things, you know.
That's why I think we need to
My
work.
understanding, the RECs are saying they're not paying for the lines.
Say that again.
The RECs aren't paying for the
I
lines.
know that most of the time that companies will kind of get
The
it.
companies will,
So they're getting some major transmission lines built for free, is what they're saying.
and spreading the cost of power a little more. They're pretty happy about it. There wasn't a scowl of agreement during that resolution.
And that's fine, but I think we also need to really look at the other power, the nuclear, and then the fast reactors, is that what they're?
Modular,
Well, the modulars are the mini reactors, but then there's the spent reactors. You know, they use the spent, there's the spent rock, and them are called fast reactors, I think. But I think we need to be exploring that. I mean, I had somebody ask just recently, how much water does it use? And if you're like using the water off the boiler or something, it puts it back in as fast as it just cools it and out it goes, you know, I mean. And it's not, and it's shielded. I've been doing delivery. I think
Fish like it.
to provide energy, we can farm electricity more than just in wind farms and solar fields. To me, that's how we get rid of the solar fields eating up our farm ground. Just having other ways to produce electricity. I think we need to help produce it because you're not gonna build, these things in these cities, you know. So, I mean, we're gonna have to be where they're doing it. But if we aren't gobbling up a bunch of good ground while we're doing it, you know, that's.
But you still got the willing landowner too, though.
Yeah.
We're trying to balance that.
Yeah.
As
Well, I get
somebody
that.
that wants to take the money. So we're trying to balance that.
We appreciate it. Appreciate what you do.
Happy to sell.
Hey, thanks for
Sorry, I
coming.
wasn't at 9, but I I didn't expect to have to run out this corner about the corner of the county to get
We
it.
appreciate your time.
I will call in. If I call, whose phone do I call?
Call
Craig's. Okay.
Keep us in the loop on the property tax.
So
I'm glad that we're 18 months out anyway, when anything is changing, but.
everything I've heard is that, we don't do any,
I mean, if you start hearing rumblings that it's gonna happen a lot faster, please let us know, just.
you know what, I could probably even check and send you a text here in the next hour. But I think that's just like,
Because the thing is,
That'd be, I mean, even at state
How much
level,
works
that'd be
like
fast
that?
moving.
starts in July, so when you're doing it, I mean, we got a whole half a year yet after.
I will try and check on that. And hopefully they answer in a meeting, so I will do that. Okay. Folks, thank you very much.
Thanks for stopping in.
Craig, I will text your phone before I do see your.
You don't know,
And
Jason.
if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work.
Okay,
Thanks, Senator.
I got your number.
Happy New Year.
Yep, happy
You
New
never
Year.
know with the governor and the legacy, she might want stuff kicked in July 1st.
Time will tell.
Moving on to item number 16, appointment of zoning administrator. We have a person that we're appointing, or?
We don't.
We don't,
Was she a treasurer?
Who?
The
Yeah,
governor?
I believe so.
So she understands what we're doing.
No, I don't want to read your mind.
You want me to go get Paul and bring him up here?
I would think so.
He's not here. He wasn't here when I stopped in this morning.
Might not be coming till.
Right.
The holidays, he's taking
Oh.
that day off.
Exactly.
Well, maybe put it on again next week.
Right, and we can put it on again when you're ready to make the appointment. I just didn't want it to,
No, it can't last. We need to.
currently we only have a person. I think there's a person still being paid.
Oh,
We need to restructure that, get a zoning administrator.
Yeah,
Paul, would do that.
Are they doing it?
What did you
I
talk
have
about
no idea if
possibly
they're actually
combining
doing
this with?
anything
to
zoning
make a
or not.
position?
They are.
That's an
I
interesting.
think they are.
I don't remember.
You said Paul's not in today.
No, at least he wasn't when I
Take no
was
action
down
on
there.
I don't.
Take no action.
Yeah, you don't have
Okay.
We need a little bit more information also on who we're paying and how that's.
Right. We need to really restructure how, who we're gonna have, and who's all gonna be underneath. Zoning
Okay.
commission.
No
So
action.
we'll
And
Take
so,
no action
yeah,
on item
that goes in
16.
line with that, I think.
move on to item 17, concerning the zoning commission.
No action taken because.
Same thing, I see there's a one there, we need to add somebody to
I
that.
do not know the answer to
We'll
that.
do that all.
exactly.
Okay, we'll do that all at
We'll do that
once.
At the same time.
The next
Do
week.
that all together.
I move that we postpone 16 and 17 until we have access to our assessor as well.
You don't have to.
That's okay, we'll just take no action.
Okay.
Move on to Crawford County investment policy.
You just, I don't know if you saw it in the book.
Yeah.
You wanna-
Yeah, I'll read that.
I read it out loud.
Well, I'll let you read it out loud.
I think it's probably the same as the one we've signed for the last. Were there any changes, I guess, is what we should.
I would say they were not,
Not that I'm aware of, but
it is dated 2026, that policy. It's in coordination with the Iowa statutes that are listed, so I would think we'll be
That's
fine
pretty
to approve that
straightforward.
policy as presented.
That's the one where, so that the treasurer can do the events, investing of our.
Goes right through the
Yep.
treasurer's office.
Yep.
Same thing we've been working under.
Yep, she's done that very efficiently.
Make a motion.
Yeah,
Motion
I'll make a motion to, you were making it,
No,
or?
go ahead.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the county investment policy as it's written.
Second.
Motion by Ty, second by Dave. Any further discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries. Next item is the LEC operating expense share with the city of Denison, and that was also in our board packets. That's figured up every year.
Is that the same? Because I was trying to do the
this
numbers.
is,
It's
they
the same,
use the same formula.
right, the numbers are different.
Yeah, the numbers are
Same
different because they base it off of what the county has.
Actually
paid
incurred for
in
expenses.
Utility, water, sewer, gas.
The math looks right.
I asked Rod if they had met, so they met, so they could specifically do this, because we needed it for budget.
Tony,
Who is?
Tony's on.
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the.
Morning, how's everybody?
Morning, Tony. Chief Trejo.
Morning, Chief.
We met on this last week. It was myself, Bradley, Dwayne, Snogren, and Rasmussen about all of it. And it looked like everything
Who's
was,
the last one?
pardon me?
Rasmussen Sheriff.
Sheriff, sorry. Yes.
Sure.
We went through it. Everything looked good on it. We know some of the costs went up a little bit, but everything looked good on our end of it.
This one reflects the changes.
Okay. Yeah. So the cost went from last year was $2,787 average per month. This year they came up with a $3,003.83 average per month cost, so. 10% increase. Yep,
Yep, that is correct.
so,
State keeps everybody in line.
well, thanks for getting together.
Yep.
Making that happen, Chief Trejo and the group, so.
All right, appreciate it. If you have more questions, let me know.
All the parties are satisfied that we do the math and work in it, so I'd make a motion that we approve operating expense share with the city.
Motion by Gene,
Second.
second by Ty. Any further discussion? Now we'll roll call. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Chair votes aye. Motion carries. Last thing on the agenda, citizens input. Anybody out in Zoom land? I see we have no public here with us. Anybody else out have anything they'd like to bring before the board? Seeing nothing, I entertain a motion for adjournment. Motion by Dave,
Second.
second by Gene. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Stand adjourned. Thank you.
Make sure we get this signed. For everybody bails.
What do you want us to sign?
This,
Oh,
That,
oh, sorry.
there's two for you to sign on the front side.
Oh, we gotta remember to keep an eye. Just about have Dave all trained.
Did Dave sign it or did it go
He'll
right
be
past
back.
him?
I'll make sure you get that.
Because the city will sign theirs next Tuesday. 2 copies, so they can keep their original and we can keep
Gotcha.
our
I
original.
just wondering whether
Got it.
we just need to find
Stamp
one of these. Stamp.
on the back. You know, they don't want our stamp. They'll have their own.
Yeah, remember to keep an eye on this one over here. He's new.
Yeah.
Get that back to Dave. When and if he comes back.
Where'd you go?
We're back.
Get rid of coffee.
All right,
Dave's gotta sign that shit.
not bad. When it comes on long paper.
You know, we don't get to see him very much, so I wanted to make sure we inundated him with information.
I think we gave them nice even keel of
Info.
info. Could have really railed on it.
We should have. And he'll never come back. He won't take her.
Well, you know what, kind of been our thing is to try to build a relationship with them where they're actually calling
You guys approve the
and
investment.
looking at helping them think outside the box about things that from our perspective. They probably don't get that luxury from the federal government. If you do it here, that'd be great.
Sure. Maybe I'll stamp it.
On your list of-
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay.
Yep. Perfect. All right.
I scheduled my appointments for July already.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
we don't wanna miss that, cause then you won't get it till August.
Sign your life away, young man.
It can be a bit of Well, thanks, everybody. Good discussion this morning. I appreciate it.
Yeah, there's one more for you two to sign. I don't know if you want to grab it. Here, I'll take that one, Dave. Everybody sign that already.
Range desk.
We're done.
We're done. Yeah, I got it. Thanks.